Another soldier in the culture war has fallen.
Mm-hmm. It's tough out there, guys.
We've lost Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's like Eric Adams goes first, and now Marjorie Taylor Greene next.
Yeah.
When does it stop?
I don't know if it ever stops. I'm worried about Lauren Boebert now.
I'm worried about Lauren Boebert. These figures, they come into politics, they make a splash, they're fucking insane, and then they just go. They burn out. It's like a flash in the pan.
Marjorie Taylor Greene ran for Congress on the basis that there's a pedophile elite cabal of individuals running the world. And after 5 years, she said, damn, they got hands.
She said, damn, there is.
Yeah.
She ran at the conspiracy there was, and then there was, and she's like, let me leave right before we find out who they are.
Yeah, and the main guy was hiding in plain sight, right in front of her, next to her on the stage in some cases.
And she said, let me just not fight more to uncover this.
Yeah, but so Marjorie Taylor Greene has resigned, or has noted an effective date by which she will resign, which I believe is like January 5th.
Funny date.
1 day before January 6th. Also 3 days after she gets her like lifetime pension from Congress or whatever. Awesome stuff to do. But yeah, she couldn't take the heat from the right wing after like a couple of weeks, and now she's giving up.
Yeah, there's really a lot of narratives I feel like can come out of this.
Yeah.
There's the obvious like grift one, because it's like she made hella money. She made so much money, like many Congress people do throughout her like 5 years.
Oh yeah, you go to Congress, you get rich.
Exactly. But my favorite one is that I feel like she is just the median voter. Like I feel like she's just, you pick a person out of that spot in Georgia, they're a bit conspiracy minded, you put them in Congress, and they're like, oh shit, like a lot of this is low-key real, but maybe in different ways, and she just didn't know what to do with herself, and she's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
She didn't have any love for the game. Like she wanted to be a poster. Like many people in this Trump administration, she just wanted to be a poster. And she thought, oh, fuck, there's actual like power here. There are consequences for these things.
Well, the awesome thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene is, like you said, she goes into Congress with a net worth of like $700,000, which is like, that could just be a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of that could be a house and her yearly income. I think she was married at the time. So like, for all intents and purposes, not a ton of money in this economy. And now she's going to be leaving Congress with about $25 million in net worth. And a lot of that is like a family business that she inherited, but a lot of that is also very intelligent, auspicious, galaxy brain stock
super
trades.
well-timed trades that she did of her own, not of her own volition, that an independent trust did.
Yeah, independent. Whoever manages her stocks, just an incredibly talented trader.
Yeah.
On the stock market.
Finger on the pulse.
But yeah, like before that, before she had any fame whatsoever, for the love of the game, she was going after David Hogg, calling him an actor,
insane,
saying that he was a liar for all the shit he did after Parkland, and she was posting about Rothschild space lasers setting California on fire and shit.
Jewish space lasers.
That was her before she got into Congress.
That's why I say she's just like, she is the median voter.
Yeah.
You're going to go to Thanksgiving. There's at least a couple of you that are going to go to Thanksgiving this week later on. Tomorrow, if you're listening and you're a Wednesday weenie.
Yeah.
And one of your relatives is going to act like she does. The only difference is that she went to Congress and they didn't.
Yeah. No, exactly. She's just so funny, man. And then she gets into Congress, peak COVID, and she compares the mask requirements to what Jews faced in the Holocaust.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then she's sent to the Holocaust Memorial Museum as like an apology tour. And then, of course, in between her getting elected and now, she does just a number of fucking psychotic, insane things. Hunter Biden cock in Congress, going after trans people, going after immigrants, just a nonstop cavalcade, at least once a month of her doing something insane. And then the one time she starts to speak out against her party, she gives up after a few weeks and says, I'm leaving.
She's had like her highlight reel has been generational.
Yeah.
All the things that she did. Cock in Congress is the peak for me.
Oh, man.
But yeah, she starts breaking from the party like 6 or so months ago or something like that on Israel. She's slowly like soft launching these like new positions and whatnot. I gotta wonder, like, is she trying to line herself up for like a media thing?
I don't know.
Or is she just getting, like, moving completely away from politics? I don't believe that she's going to try for a 2028 run like a lot of people are trying to say. That just doesn't, why not stay in Congress if that's what you're going to do? She doesn't fucking work anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever. I feel like maybe she's trying to go a Candace Owens route if she stays.
She could. But also she's kind of boring, you know?
Yeah, you know, I don't think she has the sauce. She's probably not she can't communicate other than doing the thing. Then, like, it's a race to the bottom with her.
Yeah.
She can't go out there and, like, deliver something normal. She has to make it the most craziest thing you've ever heard. Harassing a kid who survived a school shooting, saying Jewish space lasers did a big forest fire, and pulling up a picture of cock in Congress.
Yeah, well, I mean, and she, one of the biggest things that she said, Marjorie Taylor Greene called the Democratic Party the party of pedophiles, in reference to their support of transgender people, of course. And now we look at the Republican Party and their active defense of people that are in the Epstein files, and I say, well, I guess you were wrong about that. Like, I'm sorry, but like, where do you go from here? Surely she'll find an audience wherever she goes. And I certainly, I sympathize with the feeling of not wanting to work but wanting to podcast.
Yes,
I understand this wholeheartedly. But like, I don't know what she does now.
I feel like she's primed to be a Facebook influencer. Like, I feel like
Daily Wire should scoop her up.
I feel like she's primed to be one of those people like Candace Owens during COVID who just goes live on Facebook and fucking rambles and then says something racist and then that gets clipped up and then she just rambles about dumb shit. She'll probably go and talk about school boards. She'll probably go talk about whatever cultural items on there, just like to a more limited audience on Facebook Live.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, because I guess Daily Wire can't scoop her up because she's not pro-Israel anymore, so they can't.
Oh, true.
That's a deal breaker for Ben. I mean, Ben's literally said, like, I don't care if you're anti-Semitic as long as you support Israel. He said that about Ann Coulter a couple of years ago. So that's the kind of company they're running over at Daily Wire. So she won't get scooped up by them. But yeah, it's got to be something in media because that's so much easier than being in Congress.
Exactly.
Just sitting behind camera.
Especially once you elevate your name to like that level, that national level. Yeah. You already got followers. Mm-hmm. Just go live on Facebook.
And she's already got millions in stock.
And realistically, and a construction business that she inherited or whatever kind of business she inherited. And really, that's the life.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. So
just collect money, go live on Facebook every once in a while. Bitch about something, just complain.
Well, shout out Marjorie Taylor Greene. We won't miss you in Congress, but we're excited to see your next venture.
Exactly. Like George Santos.
Much like George Santos.
I'm glad you're not in Congress, but I'll be keeping my ear out to see what you have to say.
Welcome back to Head in the Office, everybody. It's holiday pregame.
It is. What, 4th annual?
Yeah, we're back here bringing you a holiday pregame. We do this every single year. We prepare you for what you're going to hear politically at your family's dinner tables throughout the holiday season, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or Christmas or any of the other holidays that'll happen over the next month or so. We're going to get you ready for it.
We got to. And, just off top, like, originally, I contemplated, do we not do a holiday pregame this year? Do we do blah, blah, blah? Because it feels like there was just too much. But I do think it's worth it because all that too much is really just like, I don't know, 5 or 6 stories that just kind of stay around in multiple different forms. And there's some numbers that you could bring up.
Yeah, as you can expect, a lot of this is just going to be Donald Trump because the entire world revolves around whatever this guy does. And of course, today we'll also be talking about that Mamdani meeting because holy moly.
Yeah, we got to
What a beautiful thing, man.
Meeting. It genuinely surprised me, genuinely shocked me.
But we will get into all that. Today's Monday, November 24th. Before we get into our holiday pregame, I do want to remind you all that if you want early access to all of our content, you got to become a patron.
That's all you got to do.
You simply have to.
You simply have to, guys. Come on. The news cycle, it's been fucking us all year, absolutely pounding us, laying us down, and whatever. And there's nothing that you can do about it other than checking out patreon.com/headintheoffice. You can stay up to date with the news as we get it.
It'd be very nice if you did that. And you can also, I don't know, support your favorite quirked up white boys from the Midwest.
Exactly.
Independent media.
Why give your money to CNN when they play ads while you try to read an article and then the ads pop up in the middle of the screen while you try to read the fucking article and then the ads pop up again while you scroll the article and then you lose your place in the article because there's so many fucking ads that refresh on all these websites when you could go to patreon.com/headintheoffice and get no ads on these.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of articles too, you can become a Substack subscriber
for the love of the game.
For the love of the game, absolutely, and we would appreciate
the love
you
of the
for
written
doing
word.
Both of the links down there in the description for you to take a look at. All of the other links as well. You can follow us on all the social, yada yada. You can also leave us a 5-star review.
Exactly. And, guys, why get your news from, like, any of those other big outlets when you can go 2 steps down and get it from us?
It's so true.
True. When you can go 2 steps removed from the primary source and get the tertiary opinion.
Yeah, and you don't even... Yeah, exactly. You don't only need to get the headlines and, like, what's actually happening. You can also learn what your opinions are.
Exactly. You can download your opinions. Because, come on, guys, it's kind of lame to read headlines and think about it for yourself.
Yeah, we're automating...
Outsource that to me.
Exactly. We're automating your thought for you, but not in, like, the artificial intelligence way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just sort of giving you, you're learning what your opinions are.
Well, because there's still a human connection here.
Yeah, and that's a big one. Big one. You can also leave a 5-star review on Apple. We have a couple of these to read off today. This first one from Liz.mcn, 5 out of 5 for woke maxing. Love tuning into Hiddo, the bridge between Ohioans and Michiganders. I don't know if I would apply that label to us.
No.
But I guess I'll take it. I am constantly showing the podcast to my corporate coworkers, but I don't know how they'll feel about the recent Ohio sneak diss from the last episode. Anyways, thanks so much for keeping us all updated in this absolute hellscape of news. As always, I condemn all political violence and support the pod.
Spreading Hiddo throughout the workplace. What a wonguiful thing. What a wonderful thing.
What did we diss about Ohio last time? Many such cases.
Probably much.
Yeah.
Probably much. I mean, you guys did elect J.D. Vance. You guys, and prospectively, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh, man, if Vivek wins, Ohio's done.
He's trying so hard. He honestly, I'll give Vivek a little tiny smidge, an ounce of credit for what he's been doing after the massive election loss for Republicans a couple weeks ago. He instantly he started hitting on the affordability thing, and he's just doing it, and he's just going out and putting cameras in people's faces and talking about affordability.
Yeah, but but
it's fake.
What is affordability for Republicans though? It's the same shit they've always been saying.
Absolutely,
we're going to unlock the power of the free market, but that doesn't mean anything.
And it's he's doing it cornily.
Oh yeah,
it's funny when he does it, and it's he's hitting the nail on the head of what you need to be talking about, but I just don't think he knows how to be charismatic.
Yeah, and one of the funny things that I noticed out of Vivek after Democrats swept the election a couple of weeks ago was Vivek came out, he said the affordability thing, we need to focus on cost, but he also said we need to stop doing identity politics. He said the right is doing identity politics.
Yeah, doing identity politics when people come up to you and say, how can you lead us when you're Hindu?
Yeah, well, I mean, they do that, but I think what he meant... Actually, I guess I don't really know what he meant in hindsight, but my thought was immediately all you guys do is identity politics.
Yeah.
All the Trump administration's been talking about for a year is we need to make the country whiter.
I was going to say, I think he has to say we need to move away from identity politics
for his own preservation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a victim of the weaponization of what conservatives say identity politics is. You know what I mean? He has to do that because it was genuinely insane when people came up to him and said, this is a Christian state, Ohio is. How the fuck can you represent us not being a Christian?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah, but that's my point is that's all Republicans is identity politics. I know they use the term identity politics in a derisive way towards liberals and leftists all the time. Basically, anytime you're conscious of deeply held systemic biases against marginalized groups, they'll employ identity politics as a way to devalue whatever you're saying. But all the right does today is say that literally how they recruit for ICE is take your culture back. That is it, Paul. What are we talking about?
No, it's take your culture back, and then they get guys that can't do push-up or can't chase anybody, and then it's come on, man.
And it's that's the master race?
And they're all losers.
Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe Vivek is doing them a favor by saying we need to get away from identity politics, because it's tanking their own brand, honestly. This next review from Scriber Writer, 4th year around the sun with my favorite quirked up white boys.
Wow.
To begin, I condemn Hamas and all political violence. Excellent. We've been moving away from that. Here recently, and I'm glad to see it come back. It's been about a year since I voted multiple times for Kamala.
So true.
And while I'm still reeling from watching our country regress and teeter towards fascism, at least these two lovely boys at Hiddo have been here to keep me sane and occasionally laughing at the stupid... Occasionally,
every
laughing.
day, I'd say.
What the fuck is going on there? Occasionally laughing at the stupidity of the modern American soy right, though it becomes increasingly more grim as the state becomes more violent. That aside, I look forward to listening every week, now twice a week, and I'll see y'all for my next 5-star review next November. To reiterate, I condemn Hamas and all political violence as the boys do twice a week. Huge on that. I'd also like to add that this is an NSPM 7 compliant podcast. Fed's watching.
Yeah. Everyone needs to start adding that to the reviews, by the way. This next one from Ross W81 as a former Pod Save listener.
Oh,
really great takes on a lot of what the progressives feel about the Democratic Party. The crooked media people need to take notice and start calling out their own cronies and bought politicians. Free Palestine.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Huge on that review.
As an ardent PSA listener myself, I will say crooked has changed in some ways. I think they're trying to sort of co-opt some of the anti-establishment bend, but they're still very clearly going to be pro Pete Buttigieg guys.
Oh, they're good
in a few years.
Absolutely. As soon as it gets time to actually back a candidate,
yeah.
I feel like they're not going to make the right choice.
Yeah, and it's just there's a couple of these big liberal media groups, right? There's the Bulwark, which is sort of a mix of people who say they used to be Republicans but aren't anymore, and then some actual liberals. There's Crooked Media. There's whoever Ezra Klein does work for these days. He might just do stuff for himself, honestly.
I think he just does stuff for himself and writes for New York Times.
Yeah, but there's Ezra Klein, the Matt Iglesias, they're all part of the same sphere. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they're all the same guy. There's no distinguishing qualities between any of them. It's a hive mind, damn near. I don't know. I don't know like where they make these dudes, if they just come from a lab or what.
That's fucking funny. That's funny. I feel like the Pod Johns are trying to be different, but you can see it's like their programming. It's like they need to go back.
Well, yeah, they're held back by this fundamental like democratic, I guess like more like liberal ideological idea that it's just messaging, that they just need to change messaging and not they need to fundamentally change the priorities.
I think it's all what happens when what too much consultant does to somebody.
Oh,
because
yeah.
these people have all like extensively been around consultants, been around like party politics, whether it be fucking Republican or Democratic politics, and they're just entrenched in what is the worst part of it all. That I think that's just shaped their identity and who they are, and it's hard to walk away from that.
It's such an interesting case study to me to just get a glimpse of the liberal mind whenever they post. It's so awesome.
Yeah, that's that chart, the intellectual diversity chart. It's just the two nodes are people like us and then them,
and then the hive mind, the liberal hive mind, dude. It's awesome. I love them.
Fucked up. This next review from Danny Crane 12, 5 Mamdillion stars, 5 Mamdillion stars out of 5 for my favorite NBA 2K7 compliant podcast of all time. As a squishy soft Virginia lib, I like having my views challenged by these two brilliant Midwestern white boys, and I have to say, I'm not nearly as squishy soft as I was when I first started listening almost a year ago. In fact, I find myself getting harder and harder with each and every perfect episode. The show has become a bi-weekly staple of my routine and an island of levity in the ocean of bad political news in which we swim/struggle not to drown. Condemn these and keep up the great work.
Wow.
I'd have to question what you condemn, however.
I'd have to question what it means when you're getting harder and harder.
Real.
But thank you for those reviews. We'll hit the Spotify ones at the end of the episode here. But I think it's time to get into the pregame.
I think it is. And, if this is your first time listening and you haven't been around for our other holiday pregames, especially the inaugural one when we first started, I got to throw out a disclaimer, especially in this year.
Oh, yeah.
In the year of our Lord 2025, things are rough.
Yeah.
Things are rough. Things have changed a little bit. I feel like the sparring isn't as light as it was under Joe Biden. Yeah. Last year it was pretty tense because we had the election and all that was going on. But this year things just feel markedly different and more depressing and bad. So just off top, if you're going to get in political fights this Thanksgiving, do so at your own risk.
Oh, yeah.
What we're doing here, the service that we're providing you right now is providing you with the tools that you can use to better help yourself feel satisfied with what you bring to the table, both literally and figuratively, not to be confused with an encouragement of doing that.
Yeah, no, the conversations that you have at the holidays, especially with those like conservative or even maybe liberal family members, are often not like, they're not always going to be like a possibility of convincing somebody or convincing a group of people. A lot of the time it's just like a rhetorical game.
Exactly.
Like, can you outsmart the person that you're talking to? And to the extent that that is what's going to happen to you, we want to prepare you with the facts and what you can retort with. But if there is a real chance to have a genuine conversation about major issues today, obviously do that. Yeah. And there'll be an opportunity to talk about that as well. But a lot of the time, especially nowadays, there's not much convincing anybody.
And the biggest thing, right? Like if you're actually having a genuine conversation, which a lot of people do, it doesn't always devolve into an argument for everybody. But if you're trying to have a genuine conversation, the biggest thing is just don't be a dickhead. Nobody likes the political guy.
Big on don't be a dickhead.
Nobody likes the overly political guy, and I think that's just number one. I'd stay away from trying to egg on a conversation and starting the conversation when it's not appropriate. If someone's coming up to you like, "Oh, but crazy what's going on with prices these days," and you're like, "Oh my God, head in the office at 34.75 said tariff on, tariff off."
So true. So true.
That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, and maybe if you're gonna do this, if you just do it if you like doing this stuff for fun, then like, yeah, have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to poke and prod and just drop little truth nukes out there for your family to contend with, don't take it too serious, because like you'll find yourself getting angry. Say Trump won't release the files because he's allegedly a pedophile, and have fun with it.
Yeah, there's some nuclear options you can throw out.
Oh yeah,
you all know what those are.
Yeah,
you all know what those are. So I feel like with that disclaimer out the way.
Also, we should say at the top of the episode here that on Thursday, obviously, we will not be having an episode for patrons.
Oh, that's true.
Because of the Thanksgiving holiday. But Friday, we will be dropping something in our feed on Patreon and on podcasting and YouTube and stuff like that.
Got to keep you guys fed.
And it'll be a little bit different, a pre-recorded thing based around Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation, and also linked to the Substack in some exciting ways.
Exactly. You guys should check it out.
You guys should absolutely check it out. But just letting you know, we will not have a news episode at the end of this week as we usually do, and we'll be back for it next week.
And guys, I'll be honest, you're going to be talking to one of your conservative relatives, and they're going to say, liberals don't want to work anymore. Yeah. I don't. I'm sorry. Me especially so. And so Thursday, I'm not.
I work to not work, quite frankly. I work to not work.
On that. Huge on that, 100%. And with that, I think it's time. Time to get into this episode. We're going to start off talking with the Oval Office visit, because that's how the news cycle screwed us last week. Shout out patreon.com/headingtheoffice. And I think it's a good place to sort of anchor this holiday pregame, because I think broadly Mamdani is something that has a good chance of coming up.
Oh yeah.
It really does. So let's talk about the Oval Office visit. Last Friday, Trump had a meeting with Zohran Mamdani at the White House, and I couldn't in a million years have predicted the outcome.
Absolutely not. I thought it was going to be nothing.
I thought it was going to be a nothing burger. I thought that I was going to see the news about it, blah, blah, blah. Trump and Mamdani talked about this. It went like this, and I was going to forget about it by Monday, and it was going to be an addendum at the end.
Fox News branded the Trump-Mamdani meeting as showdown against socialism. And then in the meeting, he's like, oh no, he's a really cool guy, actually.
He's a chill guy,
I would live in his New York City. What are we talking about? Like, Trump conceded. Trump conceded in every imaginable way, and then the next day puts on Mamdani drip.
And it's like he was just completely enthralled by bro. Yes. Completely enamored by his presence. Zohran charmed the hell out of him. Mm-hmm. And I mean, shit, that's what happens when you got a cool, young, good-looking man to like pull up and actually like deliver and do politics in the right way and do populism and whatnot. And it's just like so much so that like you said, this was supposed to be a battle between socialism and fucking fascism or whatever the fuck it was. This Fox News was billing it. And everyone was so stunned that the New York Post ran a cover that said in bold letters, it was a picture of Donald Trump shaking Mamdani's hand, "I heart you, Mom."
Another banger from the New York Post.
They're so good, dude. They cook so hard all the time.
Psychotic organization, but give those graphic designers a raise.
Yes.
They are so good at their job.
It's fucking good. At one point, the exchange went like so. Zohran said, "When we spoke to those voters who voted for President Trump, we heard them speak about cost of living. We focus on that same cost of living," when he's talking about their similarities. And then Trump said, "He said a lot of my voters actually voted for him, and I'm okay with that." That's an endorsement.
Again, Trump was trying to get Cuomo to win. Like the entire race, he pressured Eric Adams to drop out so that Cuomo could beat Zohran Mamdani. Yes. And then Zohran meets with him, and Trump's like, "This guy's actually awesome."
He said he's actually super cool. We think about the same things. Trump was surprised that Zohran wanted to build more building. Mm-hmm. He said, "This guy wants to build more. I never would have thought that was going to happen." Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy, dude. Trump absolutely undermined Republican messaging on Zohran at every level.
Like, I get why the reporters were crashing out. Like, if I was a Republican reporter and I was making my money, towing the party line, not doing actual journalism at all, just pushing out propaganda.
Posting pictures of 9/11 that say Zohran.
Exactly. I'd be fucking pissed. If I was one of those guys that was doing 9/11 posting when he won, I'd be fucking pissed. Mm-hmm. Because how can you reconcile those two things? How can you reconcile the 9/11 posting that was going on and the 9/11 posting that was accepted by conservative media, and also and reconcile that with Trump being like, "Oh, chill, dude. I'm actually cool with my supporters voting for him. That's actually sick. I'd love to live in his New York City." And then the big moment from the exchange was when a reporter asked Zohran whether he thinks Trump is still like a fascist and a despot, and whether he stands by the previous comments he made saying so. And Zohran started to answer. He's like, "Well, blah blah blah," and Trump cuts his ass off. Trump cuts his ass off and says, you don't worry about it. You can just say yes." So then Zohran said yes.
Oh my God.
And they fucking chuckled. What are we talking about?
Why are we living in a world where Trump is more receptive to Zohran than Chuck Schumer?
Yes.
Like, what are we talking about, dude?
Exactly.
That should not be any world that we live in. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
And that's kind of where I feel like this intersects with your uncle at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And where this intersects with being able to talk to your family members about what Mamdani's doing and blah, blah, blah. Because I think what is tying this together is like the populism of it all. Trump is a populist guy. Trump is not... He's not ideologically conservative in the sense that fucking Stephen Miller is.
Yeah. Stephen Miller's ideologically a Nazi. Trump wants applause.
Trump wants applause, and he does the things that are going to get him applause, and he recognizes that the Zohran stuff got Zohran applause, and he's like, "Oh, building houses, I was a real estate developer. Why don't we do that?"
Oh, are you thinking of this from like a liberal critique angle where they're going to be like, "Oh, look, Zohran's a MAGA and the guy now."
Oh, that's another angle of it.
Because that's what I expected.
I'm thinking of it, when I mentioned that just now, I think of it in terms of I think the populism is why this meeting can happen like that, and I think it can happen with Trump specifically because he doesn't believe in anything. And I think that's why you can talk to people about Zohran and the populism of it all, the focus on messaging, the focus on affordability can actually break through to people who are otherwise too conservative to do. you can break through to guys who got the Joe Biden tied up bumper sticker.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I think the populism plays a role. I think Trump also psychologically, there's just something going on with him.
This is true.
Where he's able to, and we don't know what happened in the private meeting, but it doesn't seem to me like Mamdani did a whole lot of flattering. No. It just seems like Trump enjoys, and I don't mean this in a derisive way, but it seems like he just enjoys handsome men who are charismatic. And it's very easy.
Me too.
If you're a charismatic, handsome man, it seems really easy to win Trump over. I mean, every time he sees army dudes or dudes in the Air Force or whatever, he's like, that's a handsome guy, right? I think it's something psychological. Yeah,
I think you're absolutely cooking with that take. Yeah. That makes so much sense. I think the other angle of it is ultimately,
Zohran Mamdani.
I'm not huge on this meeting. One, because we don't know what happened. I'm mostly just surprised by it because blah, blah, blah. They can talk about whatever, but it seems like Trump kind of just does this with people. Mm-hmm. Yes, to the extent that he was in a bromance with Mamdani, in a one-way bromance, you could say.
It's going to burn hot quick. It's going to burn hot. It's not going to last forever.
It's going to burn hot. He's going to go to Suit Social. He's going to call him a jihadist again. He's going to say he's ruining New York City. He's going to do a whole bunch of things in a month's time or as soon as he actually becomes the mayor. He just kind of does this when he's in the Oval Office. And to kind of bolster that point a little bit, when Whitmer was going through her meeting schedule with Trump, during one of the meetings, Trump went and said to reporters, quote, "We're honored to have Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, the great state of Michigan, and she's really done an excellent job, a very good person."
Yeah.
That's nowhere near, I don't want to say the praise he gave Mamdani.
He was answering questions on his behalf. He was
cutting off report. There was the one question where you should get kicked out for asking this question. It's not journalism where they ask, "Why don't you take a fucking bus here?" Are you kidding? And he's like, "Don't answer." He goes, "It's quicker."
Yeah, he said that was a stupid question. He didn't say exactly that, but he was basically well, that's a silly question. You don't got to answer that. Get on a Greyhound bus from New York City and take it all the way down to D.C.
Exactly.
Fuck off. Dog.
Exactly. Why don't you get on a bus here? Why don't you go on a train here? And Mamdani was going to answer, and Trump's like, "Don't even fucking waste your breath."
Mamdani's answer was low-key goated. He was like, "Well, I think everybody should be able to afford all forms of transportation."
He's so on message.
Oh, my God, dude.
It truly is another masterclass by Zohran, just being the guy that's on message. And he's a politician in a way that isn't politician dodge question. Mm-hmm. He does the political speak. He'll do the thing where he doesn't give you the sound bite, but he never steers away from what he believes in, and he never does the flip-flopper bullshit.
Yeah, which is a hard thing to come by. And that's another reason I think Trump likes Mamdani is he's surrounded by absolute fucking losers all the time. Who's the best political talent he's got around him? JD Vance, and the bar's incredibly low. And so, and Trump's opponents in Congress are incredibly dickless as well. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are not good at doing politics. They are not good at selling a message. They're easy and annoying competition. But then a dude like Mamdani, very charismatic guy who sticks to his guns, who is, at least I think that he genuinely believes in the things that he says. And I think it presents a sort of different paradigm for somebody like Donald Trump. And again, I think him being a handsome young dude from the same city that Trump is from, I think there's something on a psychological level that Trump enjoys about that.
Oh, 100%. There's a connection there.
Yeah.
There's a bromance there.
To the point about Whitmer, because that's what I was thinking of, is okay, how is this different from Gretchen Whitmer going to the White House? And of course, I criticized her for that.
I'm glad you said it. I went back and listened to us, what we said about Gretchen Whitmer too, and it wasn't that crazy because I was kind of tweaking. I was starting to spiral a little bit. Okay, I like what Zohran did, but I kind of had whatever opinions about.
I don't want to be inconsistent. I don't want to be
inconsistent. That's not what I do here. Exactly. That's not what I want to do here. That's not what I want to live and die on. And when I thought about it, I was able to come to the conclusion that it's it comes down to standing on business. Yeah. It comes down to being in that room and not being ashamed of being in that room and not flip-flopping and doing all the things that I said Zohran is great for. Yeah. I don't think it's a problem when Whitmer, I didn't think it was a problem back then either, when Whitmer goes and just meets with Trump, because it's I get it. Swing state governor, you have to do things that will make things for your constituents
better. You need the federal money.
There was the ice storm. You need FEMA to come through. You need him to focus on you and divert resources to you or prioritize you in any way whatsoever. Tariffs were affecting the auto industry, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But really what it is with the Whitmer thing is just kind of how politicianing she was about it.
Yeah. I think my issue with it, well, first of all, I will say this, even about Mamdani, there is sort of a disconnect for me in my mind between calling Trump a literal fascist, comparing him to Hitler, and then going and meeting with him for like in a sort of like friendly, some people called it a quote unquote love fest in the media, right? There is a disconnect there. Like, if you think he's a literal fascist, why are we having meetings?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too, and that's been like the lib critique. The lib critique is like, blah, 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 you think he's a fascist, why are you going to have meetings with him and whatnot, and also the, maybe Zohran is MAGA.
But that critique's not consistent for the liberals when they look at someone like Whitmer doing the same thing.
No,
they're just cynically weaponizing it right now. And so my first order preference is like, we probably shouldn't be meeting with this guy at all. He's literally snatching people off the streets in our major cities, like fundamentally evil things he's doing. But I also recognize that politicians are going to do politician shit. They're going to go and meet with the president, whether on a mayoral level or on a state level, like their state needs the federal funding, the federal assistance, whatever, it's going to happen. If it is going to happen, then I think the best possible outcome is for it to look like it did with Zohran, where Trump is just, again, on every single level conceding to Zohran's position. And like you said, Zohran is standing on business and not letting up. When he's asked, is Trump a fascist? He's like, yeah. And then he gets cut off and Trump says, yeah.
Well, he was about to say something and Trump goes, just say yes. And he goes, yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh. Okay, easy. He's not backing down.
Yeah.
At any moment, there may be like a playful atmosphere going on here. There may be like a thin veneer of playfulness that's happening, but at the end of it, at its core, he's still on message. He's still signaling that he does not fuck with this guy.
Yeah.
And I think the fascist thing is a bit weird because it's like, yes, you think he's genuinely a fascist. You shouldn't do politics with these people, but it's like, at the end of the day, I see why there's value in it.
Yeah.
Like, I see why these people think, especially Zohran, especially somebody who's going to be facing every single challenge possible, facing opposition from his own party, from the other party, from literally everyone that's not fully on his side, that you need to get the wins where you can. And I feel like it's low-key respectable. Like, why not meet with the president when you can and there are federal dollars that are caught up in this, and he's threatening to take away your federal dollars? You might as well claw it back. Where there would have been a problem for me is if Zohran walked back his statements and he said, oh no, Trump's not a fascist, Trump's blah blah blah, he's doing this, he's actually going to help out New Yorkers real good, and you give him that positive PR from it that like sane washes him. But he didn't, because then he goes on Kristen Welker, I think the day after or 2 days after he met with Trump, and she asks him whether or not he still thinks Trump is a fascist, again, as if he didn't answer the question. And Zohran said, quote, that's something I've said in the past, and I say today. And I think what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement, about the politics that has brought us to this moment, and we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis for New Yorkers. Everything that I've said in the past, I continue to believe. I'm not coming into the Oval Office to make a point or make a stand. I'm coming in there to deliver for New Yorkers.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the model.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Mamdani is genuinely the model, not only when it comes to, like, running a grassroots campaign, getting people on your side, doing left populism in a way that matters and is meaningful and gets people to vote for you and gets you into positions of political power. Because ultimately, that's what this is about. All of the critiques that come and are levied against, like, leftist candidates, progressive candidates, is that they won't get into the seat of power in the first place. He did that. He's a model for that. Yes, New York City is New York City, blah, 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 adjust for other areas. But he's also for the model for how you handle opposition and how you do politics while still standing on what you believe in and not fucking flip-flop.
Yeah, I think, it's the sort of model for what quote-unquote bipartisanship looks like, right? Rather than going in and making concessions, saying, okay, maybe we won't do free bus, but we'll do subsidized bus instead. He's going in and he's saying, because of his proximity to like a massive electoral victory, like 1 million people coming out to vote for him, he's saying, this is what New Yorkers want. You're going to come to my side and help me make this happen. If you care about affordability, then you can be along for the ride, but I'm going to do my thing, essentially. And I do think this explains the behavior here from Zohran and the behavior with like some of the stuff I've been seeing about a Hakeem Jeffries primary and challenging other aspects of the establishment. I think Zohran right now, if I could just throw random analysis out there, seems to be in a mode where it's like, okay, I've been elected. If I don't succeed, then this brand of progressive is going to fail around the country because they'll be able to label me a failure. So he's trying to get every resource he possibly can behind him, establishment or otherwise, so that he can deliver for New York and like set the tone nationally. Although you might be able to disagree with the way that he and AOC are sort of handling the Hakeem Jeffries thing and other aspects of the establishment. I do think now would be the time to sort of like, step on the throat of the establishment a little bit, push some more pressure on because of the electoral victories. But I think that does explain some of it, and you can have strategic qualms with, any aspect of it, but
valid.
Yeah.
Incredibly valid. And I think that takes us to the holiday pregame of it all.
So true.
I think that takes us there because, like I said before, the populism, the shared like affordability message, even though that means something completely different to Trump because he's grifting on affordability than it does to Zohran, who actually cares about affordability.
Yeah.
I think that's the wedge in to get to people, and that's gonna be the wedge to Mamdani pill your MAGA uncle.
Oh yeah, you can just reference the cost of the things on the table in front of you.
Exactly. Say you have a Walmart meal, you could say, guys, there's less here.
Yeah.
Guys, there's like 50% less here, and it was only 25% less. That's a price raise.
And I bet it was more than $40.
I bet it was more, exactly. And if you want anything good and joyous and that tastes good, you're spending an arm and a leg.
And somebody left a comment on the clip that we posted about the Thanksgiving stuff from Walmart, and it's like, and I agree with the sentiment. Like, Thanksgiving is not supposed to just be like a one and done type thing.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a holiday of luxury.
Yeah.
Like, you get a bunch of leftovers, people take food home for themselves. It's not supposed to be like the bare minimum just to feed the group that you have there.
Exactly. You're not supposed to just have a dinner on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to not have to buy groceries for that weekend.
Yeah, it's a celebration of the harvest. Ideally. Historical connotations aside.
Bountiful.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bountiful. There's more. There's
the cornucopia.
Excess. Precisely.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a lot of corn, a lot of turkey, maybe even ham if that's what you do. That's what I do, certainly. And
Bro,
it's all
with turkey. You said red meat only.
Bro, ham bangs. A Thanksgiving ham and a Christmas ham, they go crazy.
Christmas ham does go hard, but I need the turkey for Thanksgiving.
I get turkey performatively on Thanksgiving. I can't lie. I go up and I grab my 2 little things of turkey and I eat it, and then I get what I really want, which is the ham.
I say, damn, this shit's dry as fuck. I can't eat this.
Precisely. That's exactly what it is. Dry as fuck. They didn't cook it right. The skin feels weird. Whatever. I digress. But we're talking about Mamdani.
And then it gets this thick, juicy ham.
Hell yeah.
Girthy, too.
The girth and tonnage. The way it bursts into...
Anyway, holiday pregame.
Anyway, yeah, talking to your MAGA uncle, blah, blah, blah. But this guy that's running New York now, he's a communist that's going to make everything government controlled and bad and gay and too expensive. That's probably something you will hear. Mm-hmm. That's probably something you will hear damn near verbatim. I think it's important to emphasize that Zohran Mamdani is not going to topple capitalism in the financial capital of the world.
Yeah.
That's just not something that's ever been on the table. And to engage with his mayoral race, his candidacy, and what will be his tenure as mayor in that manner is to engage it on like a false pretense. It's to not understand what's actually going on here. His most notable platform items have nothing to do with actually like being a socialist. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of a label that's on him. And I mean, frankly, that's why I try and stay away for nailing myself down on what I believe, like with a specific label in general, because people are just going to throw shit at you.
Oh, yeah.
But I digress. His most notable platform items are fast and free bus, free universal childcare, government-owned grocery store, rent freezes accompanied with new housing developments, and taxing the rich.
Yeah.
These are not radical policies that are far outside the norm. These aren't policies that you can go and talk to somebody who's like maybe middle class or lower, upper middle class or nowhere, and that they haven't struggled with in the past.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks childcare is too expensive, even back like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago when it wasn't literally a whole entire income from a 2-income household. People were like, oh my God, it really sucks that I have to do this. I pay too much money and then the pickup times are awkward and blah, blah, blah and whatever. And groceries are too expensive because they've always been too expensive because there's the item that you most constantly engage with. These are not things that are out of the ordinary. These are things that people need to be addressing, and he's getting out there and addressing them.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like all of these policies are so simple too.
Yes.
Fast and free bus exists elsewhere in the country. Iowa City just implemented it.
Shouts out.
And ridership went up, and it's better for everybody involved because it's free bus.
Yeah.
And it's got more money behind it in terms of taxpayer dollars. Tax the rich. There was a thing that Mamdani said on the campaign trail all the time. He was like, I want to raise the tax in New York City on the highest income earners to be comparable to that of New Jersey.
Yes.
New Jersey, right next to New York.
Because that's the thing, too, is it's like you're going to have people talk about that. You're going to talk about it. And a lot of people always say, what if the millionaires leave? Where the fuck are they going to go? 1, New York City is New York City.
Yeah.
And 2, are they going to go to New Jersey where they're paying the exact same tax? Uh-huh. It's just not going to happen. Why would you go to New Jersey when you could be in New York City?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to move to New Jersey. You're gonna commute every day into the city where all of your business and employees are.
Exactly.
I don't think so.
It's kind of ridiculous. And it's like the rich people already do live in New York City, like in New Jersey. A lot of them already do. If you're living in New York City, you're living there because it's New York City.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's a unique experience that you literally cannot get anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Point blank. But ultimately, when it comes to Zohran, you're going to hear free a lot. Mm. And that's gonna ring in the mind of the conservative.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, free? It's your taxpayer dollars that are paying for that. You know you're still paying for that. You know the taxpayer is still going to pay for that. And it's very important to hammer home that when people like this say free, they're not trying to trick you by thinking that you don't pay taxes. They're saying free because it's free at the point of service.
Yeah.
And this is something that like you've harped on a lot because it's very important to get through somebody's head that free at the point of service is different from just like free in general. No, you are not trying to be tricked. No, politicians are not trying to trick you. Yes, the government funds like basically like everything the government pays for in some way or another is paid by taxes. That's how the government raises revenue. When people talk about free, again, it's free at the point of service. You don't have to go to the bus and pay, I don't know, $2.50 every time you want to ride it 3 blocks over.
Well, it's public schools, right? Like public schools are free at the point of service. There's some stuff you have to pay for, field trips and sports and whatnot. But by and large, just about everything you interact with within a public school is free, funded by taxpayer dollars. That's what we're talking about when we say something like free bus or universal free childcare. It's funded by taxpayer dollars, and it's often cheaper because if the state or the city just does it themselves, they don't need to profit off of it.
And that's why there's a meaningful distinction between like, or it's meaningful that you understand what free at the point of service is and what like when a politician goes and says the government is going to fund something, it means. And I do want to use fast and free buses to like illustrate why this is important and why this does need to be hammer honed because I cannot fucking stand when people talk about it. It's so goddamn annoying.
The military protects you for free.
I'm tax pilled. You know what I'm saying? I'm a pro-tax guy.
Yeah.
Just in general. It's not like the plan is to take how much some individual pays for bus every year and just charge that on their taxes instead of when they get on the bus.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people get caught in this trap. It's a thought-terminating cliche, right? It's gonna be different. It has to be different. The point is to restructure how like the busing fare system works. It's not just a one-for-one transfer of dollars paid here versus dollar paid there. They want to use the money being raised by taxing the richest in the city to pay for operating costs because the wealthy can afford it and will ultimately benefit from any of the benefits that come from this program.
Yeah.
They'll benefit from people, I don't know, being happier, from people under them having a little more money in their pockets so they can spend more at their fucking businesses.
Exactly.
You're not charging the same people the same things. Yes, you are maybe moving the cost up a little bit, but it's to people who, frankly, do not need that extra $20,000 when they're already making, I don't know, $4 million W-2 income a year.
Well, it's just like we're trying to run a country here. Or exactly. In the case of Mamdani, like he's trying to run a city. Like somebody's going to have to bear the cost of transportation within the city. And if we're talking about the busing system, it's either going to be the riders that get on the bus that have to pay for it, or the rich that benefit from the riders having the bus there in the first place. And in my opinion, we should use a sort of redistributive policy to force the richest people to pay for the bus fares because it ultimately benefits them on the whole. The rich benefit immensely from public infrastructure.
So much. Way too much compared to how much they pay into the system. It's actually ridiculous. They should not have functional tax rates that are lower than like a nurse. That is just absolutely ridiculous. And also, it's not like bus fares exist in nature. These are not numbers that we're just like plucking from the bus fare tree. You know what I mean? This is a system that we made up. And I do mean that, like literally. We made up how much these fare cost. Yes, based on a variety of costs like operating factors, maintenance fees, maintenance schedules, whatnot. But it's a system that we made, and the only thing that's stopping ourselves from making it better is ourselves.
Yeah.
We can restructure these things. It's the oldest trick in the book for someone who's benefiting from the system to tell you that this is how the thing naturally runs, or this is how it is and always should be. You can always look at something. You can always reevaluate it. And you can always look at how it can be better. And that's what the point of doing something like this is.
Yeah.
That's what Fast and Free Bus is. That's what the point of reorganizing the way that we structure payments for these things is.
Yeah.
And that's what's most important because if you can get through to that, that's the only way that you're going to be able to get through somebody telling you like, oh, it's not free. You're actually paying for it. It's just on taxes. They're going to raise your taxes. They're not. That's not what happens. That's not how the situation is. And that's what government is supposed to do. Government, when they're running programs like this, exists to, I don't know, make your life better.
Yeah.
The government doesn't have to make profits off these things. The government can look at these things and they can say, here, we're going to take an operational loss here. We're going to take money from here. We're going to do this. We're going to tax this person this much. And that's fine and chill.
Yeah.
The rich, the wealthy in places like New York City and even this country benefit so much from public infrastructure. Even if they never spend a day on their life in the bus because they're driving around their fucking motorcade all day, they still benefit from their workers being able to take the bus to get to work, to take the bus to get to spend money at their businesses, or take the bus to, I don't know, fucking do anything else that makes the city a good place and fun place to live.
Yeah, exactly. Like the rich benefit immensely from, like you said, public transportation options, subways, buses, the roads that are built, the surrounding like sanitation equipment that the city uses, the police that are there to protect their assets, as well as like protect quote unquote everybody else. Like the rich benefit immensely from the way that tax dollars are spent. And I don't think it's that bad of a thing to be like, hey, pay more so our people can do a little better. Exactly. That's kind of the point of society, I'd say.
Exactly. And the point of that is like, you are not paying more as the person who's struggling and needing to. The like millionaire, billionaire is paying more.
Yeah.
And I know, oh, Gage, but they're going to push back and say that's not fair. Eat shit.
They're going to say, one day I'll be that millionaire and I don't want to pay it.
Buddy, you live in rural Michigan. You're not going to be that millionaire, actually. Yeah. That's just not what's going to happen. And if you're getting into the thing where it's about the unfairness of the tax structure, that's silly.
Yeah.
That's silly. These people pay, again, effective tax rates that are less than teachers in some instances. We come together into society. We don't just live as a collected group of individuals that are all operating for themselves. We come together as a society and form governments and have taxes because we recognize that there are goods that no individuals can come together and meet, and that we need to, I don't know, form a society around to be able to actually tackle. Why do we recognize that in some instances, but not recognize it when it comes to, like, I don't know, making bus free?
Yeah. Society fundamentally is built upon certain modes of production, I would say.
Yeah.
And those modes of production, of course, portend different inequalities in resource distribution and power distribution, certainly. And sometimes we need to take some measures on a government level under capitalism to redistribute those benefits so that people aren't suffering too bad.
And it's also like, who has benefited more from the current government, from the current system we live in, from really every action government has taken, other than the people who have made the most money?
Yeah.
Just in general, who has benefited most from us coming together and living in society, other than the people who are like winning society and have more money than kings right now? That's what it means for taxes to be unfair. That's why they can and should pay their fair share, and we should raise taxes on these people. We should maybe have a more hostile tax structure to the most wealthy people in this country. And it's better for the economy.
Absolutely. We used to have a top marginal tax rate of 90%.
And we built New York on that.
Oh my God. Top marginal or top corporate tax rate of 50%.
Oh my God. We built New York on that. What you have right now, the city you love so much, was built under a system where everybody was being taxed crazy style, or at least the rich were being taxed crazy style, and that's just not what we have now.
Yeah, and now what was the accusation against Cuomo for the MTA in New York? Like he diverted funds that were designed for like the subway system and gave it to something else.
Oh, I don't know. Probably didn't give it to nursing homes.
It was something crazy. No, not nursing homes. Definitely not nursing homes.
Not that like ship that he was putting all the COVID patients on.
In fact, he told his people that were monitoring nursing homes, "Hey, don't count those." Don't count those. It'll make us look bad.
What a fucking
New York and Florida, man.
What a fucking guy, dude.
Birds of a
I swear
feather.
To God. But I think it's also like, if you want to have like another conversation, if you're not just stuck arguing about whether like the, I don't know, merits of a system of taxation, to consider like the environment that we're in right now that would allow people, even in woke communist gay New York City, to elect a socialist as their mayor. And it's a system where people cannot afford their basic needs, and they're taking a bet on something that's different. Yeah. It's a system where the status quo has failed them at every step of the turn. New York, one of the most expensive places if not the most expensive places in the country to live in.
Oh yeah.
If not the world. The status quo has failed people who are born and raised in New York City, who move to New York City and struggle and can't do anything and can't afford basic necessities, let alone some luxuries here and there.
Yeah. And it is a cost-saving measure. It's based on affordability for the government to come through and say, hey, we'll take care of that for you.
Exactly.
Right? Like taking care of the bus fares, taking care of childcare payments, or lowering costs through government-run grocery stores. All of that lowers the amount that you have to pay for your basic necessities, and in turn grants you a more material, actual freedom, because you can go out and live your life rather than spending all of your time laboring so you can just survive.
Exactly.
And that's important. I say that's the point of life, is to live.
True. It's to live, not just survive. It's to maybe, dare I say, thrive a little bit. And that's, you get into government grocery stores and you're talking about that, and it's like the government grocery store, it's like one in each borough, right?
Yeah, one in each borough.
They're not putting out of business all the other bullshit that exists in every borough.
There's 8 million people in New York City.
Exactly. All the other crazy expensive grocery stores that are in New York City. That's not what it is. It's an option for people who who don't have the income to go and shop there. And I can tell you right now, not everybody's going to shop there because there's going to be a fucking stigma around it. There is with every single goddamn social program. People are not just going to be taking advantage of government grocery store if they don't need it. And once again, when the government does something like this, it starts a fucking business, even though that's not the right term. When the government provides a service, they do not have to profit off of it and can come to you cheaply.
Yeah.
Cheaper and help the people that actually need it the most. It's a bit silly, but I think
it's like PBS. Mamdani. Like PBS is free, right?
Yeah.
Like anybody can have access to it. They obviously operate off of donations and stuff because they've been chronically underfunded, even more so now under Donald Trump, of course. But it's like public broadcasting, right? Congress creates a corporation that runs public programming for free using taxpayer money. That is the same type of shit.
It's right there.
Also, you know what other places in the world have government-owned grocery stores? U.S. military bases. Nobody complains about it there, though. We're not doing socialism on U.S. military bases, are we? No, nobody fucking cares. They only care when it's a brown guy doing it in New York.
And that's like damn near company town shit.
Yeah.
That's damn near military gives you a paycheck, then you have to spend it giving it back to them.
Yeah, and it's like a little American suburb in the middle of like, I don't know, Kuwait or whatever.
Yeah. Honestly, that's damn near worse. That's damn near worse than just government-owned grocery store in the middle of a borough in Brooklyn.
Oh, don't worry. They also have like McDonald's and Tim Hortons and shit on military bases all over the place.
But it's not the commissary. Like, it is different. Like, the commissary really is just government-owned grocery store, and you got to pay.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the success of the Mamdani market.
I am too.
I would definitely go to a Mamdani market if I could.
I can't wait to see it pop off crazy and pop off big because people want things to be affordable. And then he's going to be the model, and then everything's going to be beautiful, and everything's going to be great, and things are going to get better everywhere.
Yeah, and everything's perfect. And revolution done.
Everything's perfect.
Peaceful revolution.
Over. I retire.
There is a poverty of compelling, quality political commentary.
Absolutely.
And we desperately need more people across mediums to be making the difference. And that is exactly why we have launched our Substack, our newsletter, Tertiary News, 100% independent media, giving you quality summaries and commentary and opinion pieces on the most important news happening around the country and around the world.
The #1 geopolitical podcast has gone away from the spoken word and into the written word. And it's wonderful. You got to see it, folks. You got to check it out.
This is quite literally an incredible development. And if you want to be a part of it, you can subscribe absolutely for free. Headintheoffice.substack.com, and you can support your favorite bit of independent media in this hellish ecosystem.
We are vertically integrating into other realms of content to make you more informed.
Please check it out. Back to the episode. Next thing we can talk about more broadly, though, and maybe a little bit more broadly, but also more specific on Trump himself.
And more specific on Thanksgiving, the day.
We got to talk about the economy, folks.
Come on, guys.
And part of that we got to talk about is tariffs. Because if you start talking about the economy and you've got a MAGA uncle, a MAGA family member that's challenging you on the economy, they're going to bring up tariffs.
Yes.
And tariffs are sort of old news because, like, who fucking cares about tariffs now?
I damn near forgot about tariffs.
Yeah, who cares about tariffs right now? Trump is dressing up like Mamdani a day after meeting him. Like his drip is just immaculate now after he's met a charismatic young socialist brown man from New York City. Who cares about tariffs? But I bet your uncle's going to bring it up. And so let's talk about tariffs. And I need you all to remember that a tariff is a tax on imports paid by the importer. The purpose of tariffs, the design of tariffs, is to raise prices on foreign products that get imported into a country so that the domestic product is more competitive. That is the purpose of tariffs. That is always how they've been used in the United States. When the country was first starting off, we used to put wicked tariffs on agricultural goods from other countries because our nascent agricultural industry needed to grow. And if we allowed in a bunch of imports, they would have gotten drowned out and our farmers never would have had a chance back when America was just beginning as a country. So this is how tariffs have always been used. They are always 100% of the time designed to raise prices on foreign goods to help domestically made goods.
Explicitly there to make something more expensive so you buy something else. So you buy a different alternative.
The design is to make prices go up. And this isn't like a secret. This is not like leftist speculation. This is just how they work. It is the purpose of a tariff. Trump is also seemingly, or at least he claims to be using these as a negotiation tactic to secure better trade deals with certain countries. It's a sort of like mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
If you don't sign a trade deal with me, I'm going to nuke the economies of both of our countries, is what he's threatening, essentially.
What's that ex-boyfriend that says he's going to kill himself if you leave him?
Yeah, sort of, yeah. Since February, Trump has been very on again, off again with tariffs, threatening a 1 billion% tariff on China one day, then backing down a few days later. This all started off with 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada for fentanyl and illegal immigration. neither of which are solved by tariffs, you might know.
No, yeah, I do remember explicitly when this happened, too. He talked about getting, like, big wins. Canada appointed a fentanyl czar.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just absolute nonsense.
Cool.
Absolute nonsense. These tariffs have been sort of like walked back, reduced, increased various times over the past few months. Trump then announced Liberation Day tariffs in April, many of which were eventually walked back. He claims that there's been a bunch of like trade deals that have been made. I haven't seen much evidence of that, really. There's been a few that we've like seen reported, like with the UK, for example.
Did that even ever become official?
I don't even know. Like, I've not seen anything signed.
Because, like, wasn't the China trade deal got announced, and they're like, there's a deal, but we're not signing anything yet. We're still going to negotiate.
Yeah.
Everything. So much of what's happening has been spiritually IDF.
Oh, yeah.
So much of what's been happening has just been spiritually that, and that, we got a deal, but we're going to continue to negotiate. And then there was a point where things were starting to fall through, and there was a point where you want to put more tariffs on. And I don't even know if there's anything going on with that right now.
Yeah, no, I don't know about the UK deal at the moment, but I remember when we talked about it, it was like steel exports from the US into the UK, and then cars coming from the UK into the US.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were like just luxury brands.
Luxury cars.
Luxury cars that nobody's going to buy anyway, except for Trump and his
rich friends.
Exactly. So tariffs not doing very well. And you may also say, there's been a bunch of economists that have said like prices haven't gone up as much as expected in this new tariff environment. And to that, I would say it's because the tariff environment is entirely unstable.
Yeah. It's
because nobody knows if these tariffs are going to stick. And so companies don't know when they should start shifting prices or increase costs onto the consumer.
Yeah.
Prices have gone up, to be sure. Inflation is still a thing. But I think
look at the price of coffee.
I think we have, exactly. And he just took those tariffs off, by the way. More to my point.
Tariff off.
But I think the point is that prices haven't gone as bananas as some expected because he keeps putting these tariffs on for 3 days and then taking them off. Mm-hmm. And so nobody knows what to do long term.
It seems like the tariff policy has been all balls, no dick.
Oh, yeah.
He's just going out there and he's like, I'm going to do this. Listen to me. And then they say no. And then everybody complains because now things are more expensive. He's like, okay, I'm going to quietly take them off then.
Yeah, it's why the stock market basically doesn't react anymore, right? We got Liberation Day back in April. The stock market fucking tanked. It was like one of the worst days in like 5 years or something like that, at least since the beginning of the pandemic. But since then, the stock market's been relatively stable because stock market is all vibes.
Yeah.
And most of the big traders don't think anything, like he's not actually going to do it.
No, that was actually insane. There was like a month or maybe even a 2 month span where every time new tariffs would get announced, stock market would just instantly fucking tank, crater. Everybody's panicking. The CNN fear greed index was just all the way on fear.
Yeah, and then there was that one point where a dude spread misinformation, said the tariffs are being walked back, and the stock market jumped.
It instantly shot up. Like it was just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, massively.
He saved us from a recession.
And then all of a sudden we're just like, okay, whatever. Nobody gives a shit. And nobody really does give a shit. Tariffs aren't news anymore.
Yeah, and that's why Trump has been labeled with taco, right? Trump always chickens out.
Oh, God.
It's
hate to give it to Chuck Schumer.
Hate to give it to Chuck Schumer. It's sort of corny now. But that was like a Wall Street thing.
Yeah.
The Wall Street guy started using that term, and that's why it took off, and Chuck Schumer then ruined it for everybody.
He took it from another. He can't even come up with something. He's biting somebody else's flow.
But the point here is that, like, prices, there hasn't been a stable like macroeconomic environment in terms of tariffs for corporations to really recalculate. And so like nobody knows what's going on. The stock market isn't even reacting to these tariff announcements anymore because nobody believes Trump's actually going to go through with them in any real way. So that's a lot of stuff on tariffs. The major argument with the tariffs is that they bring in revenue, though, right? This is what Trump says is going to maybe one day replace the income tax.
Jesus Christ, man.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. As of today, though, it's estimated that tariffs have brought in $231 billion into the United States coffers, up from $83 billion in 2024. So that's a sizable jump. But again, who pays the tariff?
Us.
It's either us, worst case it's us, or best case it's like what? The American importer, the American corporation.
Worst and most likely case is we pay the majority of the tariff. The American importer absorbs like a small portion of that cost so that they don't lose business. And the exporter also maybe adjusts their prices a marginal amount to keep things going and keep things exporting and imported in the United States.
Yeah, but at no point does like the country of origin pay the tariff.
China is not paying the China tariff on iPhone.
Yeah.
China is not paying for iPhones to come to the United States so that we can buy them cheaply.
And Trump has repeatedly...
Cheaply.
Yeah, exactly. Trump has repeatedly said that he's going to use tariff revenue to give everybody a $2,000 stimulus check. He sort of floated this idea multiple times. This is never going to happen.
No.
At minimum, you would need like $300 to $400 billion in tariff revenue.
And I feel like every time he keeps coming out with this announcement, every time I hear about the announcement, there's a new addendum. It's middle-income Americans, lower middle-income Americans, and blah, blah, blah. We'll get this. No, the high-income Americans. And he's doing the liberal thing. He's just means testing it more and more and more as he not even as he realizes, but as he's probably told, we literally cannot pay this.
It's not going to happen. No, it's simply not going to happen. So you would need more than the U.S. is taking in tariffs already anyways. But also, again, where does the tariff come from? It comes from us paying it into the form of increased prices. It's just our money going back to us.
Yeah.
There's no, and also $2,000, that's 1 month's rent. This is not a redistributive policy. It's just nuking your own economy for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Just raise taxes on the rich and then send us stimulus checks if you want to do that.
Yeah.
But this is nonsense.
It's nonsense. It's fucking stupid. And it is literally definitionally money that like you spend. If this is just tariff revenue, that's literally money that you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucked up, man.
Yeah. It would be like, it's akin to him just taxing you and then giving the money right back. Like, what's the point?
And it's also like, why do I have to hear for 4 years under Joe Biden, anytime he wants to do anything good, that he's trying to buy your vote, and then Trump is literally trying to buy your vote with and it's not even going to happen this time.
It's not going to happen.
There's not even a chance of it happening.
It would also have to pass a Republican Congress, which it is not going to do. Because this is obviously, and we don't talk much about the law anymore because law doesn't matter, doesn't exist. But money that comes into the federal government does indeed have to be appropriated by Congress before it can be spent. I know Trump likes to ignore this, but this is how it works. So these $2,000 checks would have to be approved by people like Mike Johnson and John Thune. It's just not going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen. Honestly, really, the two instances where they will break with Trump is something like that and like pedophiles. More on that later.
On the economy broadly, though, news broke a few days ago that about 150,000 layoffs happened in the month of October.
Wow.
Not good. USA Today reports that annually this has been the worst year for layoffs since 2009.
And what happened before that?
2009, not that important of a year.
2009, not that auspicious. Like, shit, whatever.
It was fine.
Okay, yeah, that's chill. That's not like, I don't know. Wasn't 2009, didn't the auto crisis happen a year after the mortgage crisis? Like, wasn't that literally the auto crisis?
Nice. Hell yeah. In September, because again, we didn't get unemployment numbers for October. They said we never will. But in September, we hit the highest unemployment rate since the pandemic started in 2020. So things are looking very good there. Layoffs span from big tech to retailers to utilities, sort of just across the board. And also, I just got to read this quote that I saw in the USA Today article because I thought it was ironic. We heard all of this fear-mongering about Joe Biden investing in EVs and how it was going to result in fewer jobs for the automotive industry. But, quote, General Motors said in October that it will cut U.S. electric vehicle and battery production and 1,200 factory jobs at its EV plant in Detroit, along with 550 jobs at an Ohio battery plant. So actually, it's not EV jobs costing the automotive industry. It's not electric vehicle investment costing the automotive industry their jobs. It's actually just people involved with electric vehicles that are now losing their jobs.
And it's like, maybe I'm going to talk out of my ass with this one, and I actually don't know what I'm talking about. Completely possible. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But it's like, how could EVs tank the automotive industry when the automotive industry are the one investing in making the EVs?
The idea is that it takes less people to make the components for EVs.
Okay.
So it'd be less people they need at their jobs.
That's what they want. That's what like Trump and everyone wants.
Well, yeah, they want everything to be like automated.
It's all
AI,
a virtue signal anyway.
It's
okay. I get it now. That makes sense because the plants are less complex, aren't they?
Yeah. And I just thought it was ironic. Like we hear all this fear mongering, people are going to lose their jobs under Joe Biden, and then under Trump, people are losing their jobs in the exact place he said it was going to cause losses elsewhere.
Woke jobs don't matter.
Yeah,
woke jobs don't matter because it's like people are losing their EV jobs here. People are also losing green energy jobs as the result of the big beautiful bill, literally clawing back every green energy initiative that the IRA did.
Yeah, it's also just like capitalism moment.
Real.
Like when production gets easier, even if profits are going up, the workers can still be hurt even though they're the ones providing the value. Like that's just pure capitalism moment. Of course, these workers will try to go and find some other work, but as the economy constricts, especially Trump's economy, there's no promise of gainful employment, especially with these macroeconomic indicators we're about to go through. So we've seen these sweeping layoffs, these really bad job numbers. Inflation's at about 3%, which means prices are still going up, which sucks bigly.
That does suck bigly.
GDP does continue to climb, but without AI data centers, the first half of 2025's GDP growth was 0.1%. So almost all of economic growth for the past year has been AI data center construction.
I think that sucks even bigger.
And it's not even AI. It's the construction of the data centers that are causing the economic growth. The AI itself, again, I'll always remind people, has produced nothing.
It's your power bills.
Yeah.
It's your power bills going up is what's responsible for this GDP. Or your power bills being a downstream effect of this GDP.
Like the LLMs that these tech giants like fucking Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and Sam Altman, like all of them are building, have no value.
Yeah.
They have no value. And they're in this position where it's like the most efficient users or the people that use like ChatGPT and whatever the most cost the company like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Really?
Because the computing is so expensive for them. Like their power users, quote unquote.
All the dudes with their AI girlfriends.
Yeah, they paid like the $200 subscription, but they cost the company like thousands of dollars in computing costs. It is utter fucking nonsense. And apparently it's the only driver of GDP growth because it's an economic bubble.
And isn't this also what they're like the Trump administration is trying to publicly shift investment towards?
Yeah.
Just a bubble?
Yeah.
Guys, Obama or fucking Bush in 2008 before he doesn't become the president anymore, I think we're going to direct the federal government to invest in these mortgages. You see, there's like, they call them subprime toxic assets.
Yeah, no, the AI bubble is something insane. So all these macroeconomic indicators, all of this, the GDP growth that essentially is non-existent without these AI data centers, all of this is to say, shit sucks.
Nice.
And we are moving actively in the wrong direction under Trump's economy. What will save the U.S. economy broadly is not deregulation. It's not cuts to social safety nets. It's certainly not tariffs. It's industrial planning.
Yeah.
Because that's initially what built up the U.S. economy to begin with, is industrial planning, investment in manufacturing, and over time, workplace safety regulations, increases to the minimum wage, the Fair Labor Standard Act, all these other sorts of things that represented direct intervention in the economy by the federal government. And what Trump is doing is the exact opposite.
Cool.
Is rigging it in favor of the people who already have all of the money. And you saw this with like the one big beautiful bill with the tax cuts for the richest people, cuts to SNAP and Medicaid. ACA premiums are about to skyrocket because of the whole government shutdown fight that petered out. We need a new deal, not whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, not just, I don't know, investing in a bubble.
Yeah.
That sucks bigly. And I think, when you're talking about the AI conversation too, it's also important to announce that like we obviously talk about how AI produces nothing.
Yeah.
And that's from this lens that like the way that, I don't know, regular ass people like you and me would interact with AI is through like things like ChatGPT doing your fucking homework or AI image generation for like blah, 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 or whatever off use you want to use it for. When in reality, what like the actual like thing that people are investing in is one, I don't know, construction of data centers, and two, like surveillance.
Yeah, no, exactly. Palantir's a surveillance company.
Like it's doing surveillance on you and military technology and being able to like kill people better.
Yeah.
But the public facing aspect of it is, oh guys, look, I can make myself Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, that's the thing is like publicly AI companies say like their sales pitch is that you can make a movie with Sora.
Yeah.
But then behind closed doors, they tell people this can replace all of your workers and spy on immigrants. Like it's fundamental. These people are fucking evil, dude.
Well, you don't need to buy a movie ticket if you pay for your Sora subscription and just generate your own movie. How about that one?
In Elon Musk's case, you can make an AI woman say "I love you" forever.
Oh my god.
Like these people are both incredibly sad, but also incredibly evil. And again, I am still waiting for someone to explain what the fucking use case is for these technologies other than like mass surveillance and brain rot.
Yeah, like because that's what it is. On a consumer level, like a regular consumer level, there's nothing other than brain rot.
Yeah.
That's all that AI is. And that sucks so bad. And it's crazy because that's the most present portion of like the AI argument, and it's the least consequential. Like straight up, it really is. Like that's the part that like eventually people are going to have to like sour on or something, because there will be an aspect of AI that probably does take over some part of a creative industry as it sticks around after the bubble pops. And I guess things are just going to have to accept that as technology advances. But it's the fucking surveillance, it's the fucking brain rot, and it's the like water use and the absolute cost that these data centers have, and the electricity bills.
Yeah.
Like it feels like there are aspects of the AI argument that need to be reframed. I think the image generation, I think the outsourcing your thinking to AI sucks bigly.
Oh yeah.
But oh my god, is that the least consequential bit of it?
Yeah, and it's specifically because it's like some libs like Ezra Klein will talk about AI as if it will de facto benefit humanity. And I think you wrote this in abundance because it is built on humanity's collective knowledge.
So fucking crazy and stupid, by the way.
Insane, stupid thing to say, especially because like it's privately owned.
Yeah.
Like I know that anybody can go and buy a ChatGPT subscription, but these AIs are being built for private uses. These AIs are being built by private entrepreneurs so that they can sell, like you said, surveillance technology to the federal government.
And it's like, it's built based on the collective like human knowledge, and that's why it's good. Motherfucker, collective human knowledge up until like very recently was race science and like, phrenology and bullshit. Like, I don't know. Not to like employ a cynical argument to shit on the guy, but like it's just stupid on its face. It's just dumb on its face, man.
Yeah, so AI suck bigly, economy held up by it currently, unfortunately. The congregation is missing someone. And that someone, dear listener, is you. The congregation awaits you over on our Discord. If you go into the description of this episode right now, there will be a link to join the Head in the Office Discord where you will find more than 1,000 like-minded individuals for you to interact with. And maybe most importantly, we'll be there.
1,000 members strong. It is a burgeoning community of Hitto-heads.
That's right.
Ready to receive you into their arms. Make you a part of the community. Vest you as a Hitto-head.
Over on Discord, we have discussions. You can interact with other Hitto-heads. And maybe, for some fun, we can do some community events. And we know that you want to be a part of that. Only available over on the official Head in the Office Discord. Getting into our next topic, though, immigration.
This is a hot one.
Another big one for the holiday, for your table at the holidays. Could have lots of uncles that are like, got to get the immigrants out. I mean, Trump won on economy bad and on immigration bad.
Yeah. And what still kind of blows my mind is that I think he's not popular on ICE's operations itself and like the things he was doing in Chicago, but he's still like strong on immigration as an issue, like as just like this nebulous amorphous issue that people talk about. They still associate Republicans with being better on immigration. Yeah. And I got to do my obligatory shit on the Democrats for ceding ground on immigration every single week. But we are at that point because they don't offer a counter narrative, and they have ceded every single bit of of cultural momentum to Republicans.
Well, yeah, it's like every issue where Democrats cede the framing, Republicans end up winning on, right?
Yeah.
It's why for a very long time, Republicans have been viewed as like the responsible ones on the economy, the fiscally responsible ones. And it's because Democrats concede with like neoliberal nonsense all the time, rather than talking about like, hey, we should forcibly raise minimum wages and shit like that.
We should forcibly raise minimum wages because this is all fucking fake and made up.
Exactly. But we should get into the numbers here on immigration specifically. And it's difficult to find the number of people who Trump has actually deported since January because ICE doesn't release all of their data to the public. What I wanted to say was like, here are the number of people that have been deported by the Trump administration. They claim it's 600,000 since the start of the year, but I hadn't found actual data to back it up other than just them saying.
And what you should say is a really good argument is that Trump deported X amount of people, Biden deported more.
Obama deported more.
He was way better at this than Trump.
No. The point is that it's not clear how many people he's actually deported. We can at the very least guess like it's a lot.
Yeah,
right. It's going to be a lot of people. But as of through September of this year, ICE has 60,000 individuals in detention across the country. Only about 28% of those people have existing criminal convictions, meaning more than 70% of those detained in ICE custody are not convicted criminals, which is just a jarring number. The vast majority.
And I imagine those convictions are for any crime whatsoever, right? Yeah. It's not just like these are the people who are, I don't know, doing murder and giving fentanyl-laced candy bars to kids on Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Like an even smaller subset of that 28% are actual violent offenders.
Yeah, you're probably at Thanksgiving with somebody who's got a conviction for some shit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's normal.
Yeah, exactly. It's normal and that's fine.
Yeah, it happens all the time. But the point is that this idea that Trump was going to go after the violent ones was always just a lie.
Yes.
And in fact, the way that he talked about, the way he exaggerated how violent immigrants were, was always a lie to justify exactly what is happening right now, which is a ton of like street vendors and day laborers being locked up in ICE detention for no reason other than being the wrong skin color and being from the wrong country.
And also kids.
Yeah,
like, they are also going and just grabbing fucking kids who had no choice in coming over here whatsoever and subjecting them to just horrible violence.
Yeah. Yeah, and people have died in this process.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't been a lot, but there have been a couple of deaths, at least one at the hands of ICE as they shot a guy who tried to drive away after he dropped his kid off at school, and ICE tried to grab him. Then there was another person who died falling off of a roof during an ICE raid, I think as he was trying to run away. Yeah. There's just been, and not even to mention, like, the various ways in which they've just brutalized people without actually killing them, but just beat the shit out of them as they arrested them or beat up protesters or whatever it is. It's been an incredibly violent operation, an incredibly scary operation designed to terrify people into submission. And it sucks.
It sucks.
And it's not even doing the thing that Trump said it was going to do, which is get rid of the violent ones, because surprise, surprise, there's not many. There's not that many.
You can't get rid of 30 million immigrants. There's not even 30 million illegal immigrants in the country.
Exactly.
That's the other thing. Once again, I talk about it because it's like it's something that even I forget, but like they've said the 30 million number so much that it feels like it's barely even worth bringing up. But it's insane that that's something that's just been accepted because of how hard they've hammered it home.
Yeah, I hate it when J.D. Vance is like, we have 30 million illegal aliens.
Yeah, with this stupid fucking voice and this stupid fucking look and stupid
homegrown Ohioan, man. Ohio moment. More broadly on immigration, though, immigrants are actually good in all kinds of different ways for the United States.
Yeah.
While immigrants do make use of some public resources, they also pay taxes.
Yes.
They work, they consume, they drive economic growth. Also, undocumented immigrants specifically often can't make use of the public resources that they pay into. So they're actually a net benefit. And not to say that I like that, because it is sort of exploitative, not to say that I like that, but like that's just the economic reality. Is that kicking a bunch of them out would actually be harmful to public resources because they tend to pay things like sales tax and stuff like that. Undocumented and documented immigrants do not commit crimes at higher rates than U.S. citizens, and the areas that tend to attract immigrants the most actually don't see crime rates go up when the immigration rates go up, so that narrative has just always been a lie.
Interesting.
There's about 11 to 12 million undocumented immigrants living in the country right now, a number that's been relatively stable over the past several years. And about 40% of illegal immigration, at least in 2023, was via visa overstays. So these are people that have already been approved to be in the United States. They're just staying longer than the document told them that they were allowed to. And lastly,
they need to be ripped out of their homes.
Undocumented immigrants make up crucial parts of top industries like agriculture and construction. Again, this is not to say that I enjoy that they're being exploited and paid low wages for the benefit of everybody else, but it is to recognize a key economic reality and note that kicking them out of the country is not the solution, but investing in their protection as members of the working class is the way to go.
Yeah.
So that's just some like brief stats on immigration. Also, because it's so easily lost in this conversation, they're humans.
They're human. They're people.
They are people with like, feelings and dreams and aspirations and families.
They're people who arguably came here because they believed in the American dream that doesn't frankly exist anymore and are trying their best to make it happen and live that like American story that they were so promised that you can come to this country and you can make something of yourself, only to, come to this country and then be violently ripped out of it.
Yeah.
For no reason other than some guy wanted to be the president. Because that's all it is. You think these people actually fucking give a shit about illegal immigration?
No.
They're just racist.
Yeah, and that's why I sort of I even hesitate to go through the list of stats because it's like they don't care.
Well, and that's why we said at the beginning, like it felt like holiday pregame this year was just fucking moot.
There's no consensus reality.
Because so much of like what is wrong here and what arguments are going to be centered on is just racism.
Yeah.
And that's all that this is. That's what immigration is going to boil down to. You will be hard pressed to find a principled conversation about how the value immigrants bring a society, whether or not the ICE operation should be happening, whether or not it's violent, because more often than not, people are going to say, Laken Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Laken Riley, what about this white woman that was killed by an immigrant? What about this white woman that wasn't? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and if you get hit with that, the response is very easily just, we can't generalize to an entire group based on what one guy does.
And the response is also very easily they commit violent crimes at a rate lesser than
citizens. But I guess the issue is just that like people don't believe in stats anymore.
No, yeah, that's the problem. People need narratives because statistics, they're not compelling.
Yeah.
Like you unless they can weaponize them cynically to be racist. It's just it's all just narratives.
Yeah.
You just need the narratives to like do this thing. And it sucks so bad.
And to that end about like needing narratives, right? Because you can say all of this, but still it's not really a positive message. You're just sort of pushing back on the lies of the Trump administration. When people are talking about immigration and they're talking about immigrants coming over and stealing jobs or making use of public resources they don't pay into, it's all nonsense. It's all mythology. Yeah. And it's all meant to serve a narrative that like immigrants are the reason for why the country sucks so bad. But when you see that sentiment, you can dispel it by citing all these statistics, But then you can also say the reason that everything sucks, the reason you can't afford anything, the reason prices continue to go up, you can't afford rent, you can't afford groceries, you can't afford healthcare, is because we refuse to tax the rich and redistribute the resources that they have siphoned off the working class through deregulation.
Because that's what a lot of this is. Like, other than just like wanting brown people out of the country, a lot of people who fall into thinking that like not violent immigrants, but illegal immigrants are here is because they think that they do violence, which is also just an aspect of racism. And they think that immigrants are responsible for making their life worse. They think that immigrants are the reason why you can't buy a house because that's what the fucking vice president goes around and says. They think that immigrants are the reason that you can't afford groceries. They think that immigrants are the reason you can't afford X, Y, or Z. They think that immigrants are the reason your kid can't go to college. And that's just demonstrably no. And I feel like that's clear on its face if you're somebody who, I don't know, goes out and looks in the world, but what do I know?
Yeah, no, God, that argument sucks so bad about the houses.
Yeah.
Because it's the old people. Yeah. The old people are buying up all the houses. All the houses are going to people that are over 45. It's not immigrants buying up the houses. It's old Americans because they're the only ones that can afford the house.
Yeah, exactly. You think I can't afford a house until we get to our next Patreon goal, buy me a house in cash. I can't afford a house right now. You seriously think that the immigrant who's coming over here and day laboring can buy a house? Oh, it's because they're not paying income tax on that money. Yeah, that's going to make up the extra $200,000 fucking dollars so they can buy a house in cash.
They're getting paid like a fifth of the minimum wage, and they're the ones that are going to put a down payment on for a house.
Yeah, they're the ones that are really bidding. They're getting in bidding wars for houses in the burbs. Come on, guys.
I don't think nobody I know of our age range like has bought house.
No,
maybe one person.
I think I know maybe one or two people that we went to high school with that have like bought a house now, but it's like it's with help.
Yeah,
I imagine it's with help. Like how?
Yeah, exactly.
We've been out of school for like what, going on 3 years at this point.
And Michigan's not even the worst place for it.
No, for real.
There are far worse.
And a lot of people that I know that are getting into positions where they can start to buy a house lived with their parents and have a good job. So it's like, okay.
And it's just like the narrative you should redirect to is that the wealthy who don't pay any taxes lobby our government to intentionally divest from public resources and regulations that protect us. And that's where all the money went.
Yeah.
Especially when like older members of your family reference this like idyllic idolized version of the past in America where things were cheaper and, people could actually succeed. There's a portion of that was true. And to the extent that ever existed, it was because we gave a shit about regulating the wealthy and corporations and enterprise. And we just don't do that anymore. But also at the same time, a lot of that is just idealized and things sucked back then too in different ways. And to the extent that the sort of anti-immigrant sentiment in your family member is built upon racism, that's not going to be undone by just talking about economics.
Yeah.
That's just deeply held feelings for a lot of white folk.
It just sucks so bad because it's like, how do you undo that? Like something like that has to be undone on like the cultural level. I feel like you do need bigger, broader narratives that are pushing back. And yes, they start with individuals like going and like fighting the good fight, but it's like, I don't know. That's why this holiday pregame just feels moot because so much of this is just racism that has been building for the last, I don't know, fucking decade.
Yeah.
And even beyond that.
Really, really awful stuff. I hate commercials.
Me too.
I hate listening to them. I hate when I hear them, whether it's on TV or on podcasts.
Grr, I just can't stand commercials.
They're the worst. And the one place you can go to avoid commercials like this one you're listening to right now is patreon.com/headintheofficepod. Become a patron and you get early access to our episodes, and they're all completely commercial free. No more interruptions.
And you could be one of our friends.
And that's arguably the more important point.
And, in trying times like this, friendship is what we really need.
Friendship's really important. And you can buy your way into being a friend of ours by heading over to patreon.com/headintheofficepod. Again, early access to episodes, no commercials, access to all of our content before anyone else sees it. Become a patron. Next, though, we can talk about war.
What's it good for?
On to an even more cheery topic. We can talk about foreign wars because Trump claims that he ended 8 wars around the world. Yeah. That'd be quite the accomplishment.
I feel like that'd be an accomplishment that awards you the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, I think he's earned it.
I think he's earned it. I think he deserved it.
But he got snubbed. Instead, it was given to that opposition leader in Venezuela or whatever.
Dedicated it to
Trump anyways. So yeah, Trump claims on foreign policy that he has ended 8 wars around the world. And I think we should take a look at these 8 and see if that's what actually happened.
Okay, let's look.
The first one, obviously, Israel-Gaza.
Ooh.
Immediately laughable because even though there's a quote-unquote ceasefire in place, fire has not ceased very much on the Israeli side. And also, like, the outcome of ending wars, quote unquote, does matter, like what the world looks like after that.
Yeah.
And to the extent that we're considering what things are going to look like post this conflict, post this ethnic cleansing campaign, shit sucks.
And it's like you could, exactly that's a good point about like ending wars too. You could end World War II by like laying down your arms and letting the Nazis like take over everything. Mm-hmm. That would be a war ended, but that would not be an outcome that's worth living in. Yeah.
Trump also allowed on Israel and Gaza a 6-month starvation campaign from March to August of this year. That doesn't seem like a good, I don't know, feather in his cap, I suppose. Not a great thing. And the peace plan, of course, is essentially indefinite occupation, essentially turns Gaza into a conservatorship where all these nations around it are essentially controlling it and its future, and the World Bank for some fucking reason.
Almost literally turns it into Trump Gaza.
And there's no real path to statehood as well.
Kushner Gaza.
Jared of Arabia.
Jared of Arabia.
Yeah, Jared of Arabia at the head of it all. So, not great. I don't think you could call that a positive outcome. And the bombs are still falling. So, I don't think we can say the war is over by any stretch. The next one that he claims victory on is Israel and Iran.
Oh, come on.
He called that a war. For those that forgot, a couple of months ago, this was about 2 weeks and consisted of Israel and Iran launching bombs at each other back and forth. And Trump says that because he assisted in striking the nuclear sites, Trump ended the war between Israel and Iran.
Wasn't he mad that it's like Netanyahu did everything in the first place? Didn't he just kind of get pushed over when it comes to this whole thing?
That's what happened, but in hindsight, he says, "Oh yeah, I was there the whole time."
He said, "No, that was me. Like I knew everything. Like I was just playing you guys. It's just like tariffs. Like I was just like threatening to like kill my fucking economy so that we could get better trade deals just because." Mm-hmm. Like it was just a negotiating tactic.
Yeah, no, guys. Yeah, I actually had the galaxy brain the entire time. But yeah, he claims victory on this, even though there are many reports that the nuclear sites in Iran are still very much intact.
Cool.
So I get like if that's a war ended, sure, but it was kind of just a series of strikes. Doesn't seem like a war to me is what I'm trying to say.
No, it's just more like...
And it also, you know, we talk. Trump talks all this about like ending wars. It also started on his watch. Like, does he not? Is there no like negative or minus for that?
It's like displacement in physics. Like, you know, you do that graph and it's like, oh, if you run 200 meters then come back, your displacement's 0. Mm-hmm.
The next one is Pakistan and India. Tensions turned into actual strikes back in May between these two countries. Tensions have always been high between Pakistan and India. Thank you, the United Kingdom. But these strikes ended after only 4 days. Trump claimed victory, said he had a key hand in negotiating between the two countries. Some Pakistani officials thanked Trump, but Indian officials were pretty firm in saying Trump had nothing to do with this. It was just between us and Pakistan.
It literally is. Any conflict happens in the world anywhere and it ends. It's because of me, guys. Mm-hmm. It was because of me and my strongman leadership.
Yeah. So, I don't think you can really give this to him because one side is saying, yeah, he had nothing to do with this.
Okay.
And it's not like India's government is like hostile to Trump or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm not going to give him that one. Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Trump spiked the proverbial football over a ceasefire that has since been broken as of today. So conflict's not ended, just straight up war continuing.
Okay, cool. All right, nice.
Obviously can't give that to Trump. Cambodia and Thailand is another one. Tensions rose between these nations earlier this year when a Thai soldier stepped on a landmine. A few days later, these two countries agreed to an unconditional ceasefire. And then in October, they finalized negotiations for further peace. Trump was a part of these negotiations the whole time, apparently. However, in November, Thailand announced it was suspending the peace plan after a soldier was hurt again by a Cambodian landmine, and things are once again getting very tense. So again, war not ended.
Bro inserts himself into a situation and says it was all because of him that things got good. Mm-hmm. God, just classic Trump behavior.
It is classic Trump behavior.
So sick.
But it's like it's falling apart. Like the
classic Trump behavior once again.
And it's like, again, half of these just started on his watch as well. Like he didn't. Ukraine, Russia still going on. He inherited that one. Israel, Gaza, he inherited that one. All these other ones started under him, and a lot of them have not ended. And to the extent that they have cooled off, it doesn't even seem like you can attribute that to him.
It's like he could say that he solved the Israel-Gaza war like 8 times by this point because it stopped and stopped and stopped and stopped and stopped, and we're gonna ignore when it started back up each time.
And we're gonna ignore the human cost, of course.
Of course. Yeah. Well, in the words of the Obama speechwriter, all these kids on TikTok see as a wall of carnage. And how am I supposed to do my propaganda when they're seeing people die?
Obama had some banger hires back in the day, dude.
Everyone from that administration that is still around just seems to be doing the most.
Tom Homan.
Oh my God, I forgot about
Crooked
Tom
Media.
Homan. Crooked Media. The Pod Johns, fucking Todd Homan, Sarah Horowitz or whatever her name was, the former speechwriter that said the Carnage thing. Like, wow, Obama administration people are just producing. Fucking Liz Smith. Liz Smith running the Mallory McMurrow, consulting on the McMurrow campaign. Oh my God.
And Obama CIA. She was in Obama CIA.
It counts.
Yeah.
It counts, I think.
If
you were in politics, if you were working in the government under Obama, I can't trust you now. I can't do it, man.
Obama staffer to absolute fucking demon pipeline.
It's too strong. It's
Yeah, you can't get out of it. The next one is Armenia and Azerbaijan. Trump, I think, mistakenly called Armenia. I can't remember which other country he mistaked it for. Nice. But he clearly has no idea what was going on here the whole time.
Well, he definitely had no idea.
Trump had meetings with leaders from both of these countries as fighting continued for some time. A peace plan was agreed to. It's unclear how much progress has been made under it. I believe back in October, the peace plan was finalized. Trump, again, involved in these negotiations. Outside of that, who knows? Maybe this is the one you can give to him.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
maybe we can give him one. And then lastly, there are two other conflicts here to consider that he claims victory on. Again, all of these are conflicts between different countries that Trump says he resolved and he ended 8 wars in 8 months. That's what he was saying before. Ethiopia and Egypt and then Serbia and Kosovo are the other two pairs. Neither of these pairs were at war.
What a peaceful dove Trump is coming through and just stopping all the conflict before it even happens in some instances.
They were just sort of like tensions between these countries, and then Trump comes in and says he stopped the conflicts before they started.
Oh my God, dude, that he inserts himself like Jonathan Majors when he was on his PR tour trying to get two kids to stop fighting, and he's like, "Look, guys, I'm a good guy."
Yeah. Non-falsifiable claim. Also, in a lot of these conflicts, I didn't mention this before, but in a lot of these, he says that he threatened to imply tariffs or impose tariffs on these countries, and that's why they stopped.
That's why the tariffs are the one thing that's actually come from him. Immigration, It's all Stephen Miller. He doesn't have a hand in it. He just campaigned and he lets the Nazi do the Nazi thing. But tariffs, that's his brainchild, dude. He loves throwing tariffs in, and he's stopped wars. He's so good at stopping wars that he can stop wars before they even happen.
And there's no way that we can actually prove if that happened or not.
It's a fucking cult, man. Like, it's all so absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd also like to point everyone's attention towards the war of aggression that Trump is starting against Venezuela, on the pretext that the fentanyl trade runs through Venezuela, which of course it does not. Not very pro-peace to me.
No, it's not very pro-peace to be, I don't know, sending, was it 15,000 or 1,500 soldiers?
15,000 soldiers.
Oh, even worse. 15,000
And our
soldiers.
biggest aircraft carrier.
Our biggest aircraft carrier, and like killing a bunch of people in boats in the Caribbean just cuz.
Yeah, just for fun. This whole idea of peace through strength fundamentally requires you to impose your strength on somebody for there to be peace.
Exactly, like
which just means war.
It's peace through strength. You can't have the peace without the strength. Like, why can't we just have peace?
Yeah, why not just peace?
Guys, why can't we all get along?
Yeah.
Why can't we all just come together?
At minimum, why can't we just like not kill people?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to.
Yeah,
and we can go to our allies who we give money to in military equipment, and we can say, hey, stop.
And it's like, I feel like the strength doesn't have to be like military strength in the sense that we're going and killing people and posturing all the time, and it can be strength in the sense that, like, I don't know, you're supposed to do in this state that we're in this year, where you just, I don't know, have all the weapons manufacturers and sell all your weapons to everybody else so they know who they can't fuck with. Like, I don't know, that seems like a more peaceful way to do peace, even though it's not, because the weapons manufacturers suck, but like... It's like neo-imperialism versus imperialism. Like, we found a way to do it that's less bloody but still bad.
Or even, like, again, just in the case of Israel, you can just, like, enforce existing law and say, like, hey, dog, you can't use our weapons to commit crimes against humanity.
Yeah.
It's in American law. Like, that's not even, like, that's not even a woke thing.
Yeah, Trump really could have just ended Israel-Gaza straight up, like, day one in office if he just said no.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
just as Joe Biden could have.
No one is willing to do that for some fucking reason. But maybe it's because TikTok has rotted my brain when I see dead baby, Diddy, dead baby, dead baby.
Oh my gosh! Shout out Van Jones. So yeah, that is foreign policy. Those are the wars that clump. Jesus Christ.
It's long. It's been a long day. It's been a long fucking year. And you know, these holiday pregames for us, it's like a year in review as well. And man, has so much happened. I'm taken back to these individual moments where tariff came on, where the Venezuela boat strikes initially happened, when ICE first operated, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah, and we're also trying to place ourselves at your dinner table for these holidays.
Of course.
And imagine what you're going to be dealing with. And we haven't been sent an invite from any of you.
It's fucked
which
up,
is
guys.
bizarre.
It's
so
ridiculous.
we're just trying to imagine.
What if I didn't have anything to do?
Precisely. What if I didn't have any plans?
Well, you guys on the Patreon too, especially. I'm going to call you out right now. We're best friends. we're real life friends. Where's my fucking Friendsgiving?
All 900 of you or
all
whatever.
All 900 of you, and I don't have a Friendsgiving invite.
Yeah.
Sure, Thanksgiving, maybe you want to keep that with just your family. Friendsgiving, I know you fuckers are doing that. That's a woke thing to do. Ridiculous. But no, not for me.
So anyways, those are the conflicts that Trump claims to have ended. I'm going to say most of these, no, probably not. Half of these are just still going. And the two of them just never started. Like, it's nonsense.
And he's trying to start one right now. So just everything is just nonsense.
You know what one of my favorite activities is?
What?
Reading.
Oh, I love reading. I love literature.
And one of my favorite things to read are the reviews we get on Apple Podcasts.
Always.
Not only do I love to read them, but it's a really great way to support the show. If you want to help us out, go and leave a 5-star review on Apple. As always, we read them here on the show. And if you want to make me happy, if you want to become my non-parasocial friend,
that's right.
One step on the 1,000 steps that it takes to get there is to leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'd really appreciate it.
Just remember, my friendship, it's for sale. And if you want to become one of my friends, you can go to the Patreon, or completely for free, you can leave a review on Apple. And even if you don't want to become my friend, don't you want to see another human smile?
Exactly. So consider leaving a review on Apple. It really helps out the show. It's a free way to do it. And you'll be one step closer to being a real friend of ours.
Exactly. Now with that, back to the episode. I do think this last topic we're going to talk about is probably the most worthwhile to have like a genuine, real discussion where you might be able to like get something done and move the needle. And that's the man who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein himself.
Oh my God. He never goes away.
And because like off rip, Trump has something to hide. And if you can't agree on that, there's no point. This is an easy one when it comes to engage with, because it's like, if they're so bought into this idea that Trump has done nothing wrong, why would he be acting like this? Just why would he do this? Even if it isn't about whether or not Trump is hiding something or whether he himself is personally implicated or someone he wants to protect is personally implicated, Epstein should be a bipartisan issue.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any partisan shielding going on here. It's an undeniable fact that Epstein ran a complex pedophile network that involved some of the most powerful and affluent people in the world.
And he used that access as a way to broker power
between these powerful people, world leaders in some instances, some future world leaders, some past world leaders, some current world leaders. I don't know what's going on. It is an undeniable fact that that's the basics of the case. That's what gets us here to the point where we can speculate.
Yeah.
That's point blank. You got to agree Pedophile Island is real. Yeah. You got to agree that there's a pedophile web out there and that these people are interconnected, and some people that we don't know about are implicated.
And like even somebody with like room temperature IQ could understand that Epstein used his political and economic connections and his global pedophile ring and put them together to build a base of power. Like, obviously, that's what he did. Any thinking person can get to that conclusion except Ezra Klein. And because that's literally what he said. He's like, oh, these aspects of his life stay separately. Yeah, crazy.
Oh, then Trump was acting so deranged about the issue that it convinced Ezra Klein to be right. That's a high bar, convincing Ezra Klein to be right. It's Ezra Klein and Matthew Iglesias. When those guys are right,
cold day in hell. Cold day in hell,
man. It's crazy. But it's like people on both sides have been implicated in the Epstein files and what we know right now. And people on both sides will continue to be implicated as we get more information. And T-minus like 25 days at the time of this recording, we'll at least get something.
And I'll say the most likely retort you're going to encounter if this topic comes up is, why didn't Joe Biden release the files? If Joe Biden, if there were anything on Trump in those files, then Joe Biden would have released them. And the easiest answer to that is, the Democrats are also protecting pedophiles.
Yeah, they got pedophiles they want to protect too.
Exactly.
That's literally all it is.
That's the idea, by the way. Like, that's the purpose of running a pedophile network globally with so many different people connected, is that none of them rat on each other because it would out them as well.
Yeah, you don't want to go say, oh, I'm going to run a pedophile network where I only implicate this one specific group of people and every other powerful person knows about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not how you do it. That's not game. You don't know ball.
Yeah, you don't
know ball at this point. And it's important to hammer home that, like, Epstein, what what the case represents more broadly, other than pedophile island, pedophile king, pedophile queen, getting together and getting people to do pedophile shit, is establishment rot. And that establishment rot does not discriminate on the basis of party affiliation. There are people on both sides who are just only invested in power for power's sake, or power for personal enrichment purposes, and power for, in this case, pedophilia.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's how you kind of break through. And then once you do that, once you dodge the Biden allegations, well, not dodge the Biden allegations, but dodge the fact that Biden could have done something when he didn't, with the idea that they got pedophiles too, dog. That's when you really start to hammer home Trump. Yeah. If you're feeling combative and you're feeling like you really want to get in this, right? Because any action that impedes transparency should be looked at as suspect.
Yeah.
And again, that's not partisan. Yeah. That is not. I can look at Joe Biden and Merrick Garland as suspect for not doing anything with this, just because that's something I would like to do. And that's what's been going on throughout this entire administration. Yes, Trump did sign the Epstein Files Transparency Act into law, but, and that's going to come with a massive but, we know he did not want to do that. Yeah. And that's when you can talk about the DOJ case, the DOJ investigations, and the implications behind that with the impeding redactions that we're going to see whenever Pam Bondi releases something.
Because that's the thing is, like, when he signed that bill, or right around that time, is when he was like, oh, this is a Democrat hoax. Epstein's a Democrat problem. He was a Democrat. Yeah. And it's like, well, if that's true, then why did you just start an investigation that will stop the release of the files on Democrats?
Yes.
Like, if it's really a Democrat problem, release the files and let all the Democrats be exposed. Yeah. But he doesn't want to do that, and he's had the FBI combing the files for his name because his name is in there.
Allegedly. Yeah, no, literally. Because it's like, then he'd just be doing the thing that Joe Biden's getting accused of.
Yeah.
If there were Democrats in the files, why doesn't Trump just release them?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe people who could possibly be implicated in pedophilia or allegedly pedophiles want to protect each other because they're going down with the ship.
Yeah.
And they don't want the ship to go down.
That's how power brokering works. Like, you insulate yourself from being outed by roping in so many different powerful people so that none of them individually can snitch on you because it would implicate them.
Yes.
Like, that's the idea behind all of it.
Yes. And if you really want to hammer home this idea that Trump could be possibly, allegedly, maybe implicated in these files, I think there are a couple things that are pretty easy to talk about. There are a couple highlights that we've been talking about a lot recently. First, just Trump's dismissal of the entire thing since at least July. You got the Epstein hoax, you got Epstein, the man who never dies, and so on and so forth. This is a Democrat hoax. This is only Democrats. It's Barack Obama, James Comey, and Bill Clinton who are involved in this. Yada, yada, yada. He has said something damn near every single week that just cranks up my suspicion.
Utter nonsense.
To just dismiss this thing that literally everybody cares about. And then if you want to continue from that, you got Trump denying the existence of the birthday book letter, trying to sue over it, and then the Epstein estate releases it, and it's so much worse than anyone could have ever imagined beforehand. So much worse than any of the artist mock-ups that depicted an adult woman. It was a child.
There was also a suspiciously timed J.D. Vance Rupert Murdoch meeting just before that Wall Street Journal piece came out.
Oh, yes.
My suspicion is that he was trying to stop the story from releasing.
Yeah. And then Trump threw a fucking slap suit out there to try and, I don't know, claw back some credibility, which he's done at every step of the way, and it's never worked, only for him to be outed as somebody who did the thing he said he didn't do. There's been a pattern here throughout this entire Epstein saga that I don't think is going to end, allegedly.
Well, I mean, Trump routinely, and he's even won some settlements on hitting media companies with suits after they say something bad about him.
Yeah.
Like the ABC George Stephanopoulos settlement that he did, the lawsuit with 60 Minutes for editing the Kamala Harris interview, which they do with everything. Like, Trump has a history of going after media companies that he thinks makes him look bad. It's nonsense. I think the Wall Street Journal would not have made those claims if they didn't have any evidence to back it up.
No, you literally can't.
Yeah.
Like that.
That'd be insane.
That would have been the time where you get hit with the libel, the slander, or whatever. Because that's nuts. But if that doesn't convince him, the missing minute.
The missing minute's so damn.
The missing minute's insane. And with the missing minute, what's so important to remember is they released the video. They said it was the full video. Then people start questioning why a minute's missing because it's clear and obvious that a minute's missing. There's like fucking whatever on there. And they're like, oh, that's just a routine thing that happens. It's just like that. That's how the prison camera works. It always resets at that time. It's standard. Don't worry about it. Then people look at the metadata. I believe Wired is the one who broke the story. Wired looks at the metadata. They saw that it was edited like exactly the amount of times that you would need to edit something.
Cut, delete, merge, baby.
Cut, delete, merge.
It's so absurd, dude. It's so absurd.
And then they freak out about it. They're like, oh, blah, 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 whatever. Fake news. Everybody's lying. Caroline Leavitt probably says some dumb shit up there.
Yep.
And then we wait a couple months. And then they fucking release the video. But this time, they release like a screen recording of the video that has a different overlay on it. So you know it's fucking different. And that conspicuously doesn't have metadata attached to it. So you can't go in and look at where things may or may not have been edited.
Hashtag screen recording.
That right there, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
If somebody did that and they were like being tried for a crime, I think a jury would convict.
It's just it's crazy, and that's after again that they released this video after saying like, oh yeah, no, it's just gone. It's impossible to get it. Like it's just nobody has it.
The
it's
missing
gone
minute's
forever.
completely missing, but we found it. the missing minute has been destroyed. But
Direct
it's right
contradiction. Direct contradiction. It's so funny, dude.
And then, infamously, we have Pam Bondi's binder stunt.
And that was the first thing that happened.
That was that's what kicked this off. None of this would have fucking happened if they didn't do that.
Yeah, well, they had to appease their people.
I don't even think they had to go out there and do it like that, though. Like, I think they could have done this in a way where they, like, release some information but don't release the majority of it, obviously, for obvious reasons. But if they don't make a fucking media day out of it and invite people with followings, like literally like millions of followers represented in that room of people whose only job it is to go bitch and complain, this wouldn't have blown up at them. And it was a whole publicity stunt. There was build up to it. There was the actual media day where they had the conservative influencers in there. They gave them physical binders of what? Of information that was already public, but that the government hadn't released in that capacity before, accompanied with a jillion redactions.
There was just no reason to do it like that.
No.
Yeah.
No, the only reason to do it like that is if you think you can get away with anything.
Like, it's honestly insulting.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the people that were a part of the propaganda photo shoot don't have any morals or feelings. Basically, not human. But, like, it's so insulting to be like, we're going to bring truth to the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, do this whole stunt that is absolutely meaningless, and then a few months later say, yeah, case closed. Nothing happened here.
And, like, another thing I got to hit on when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein is just, like, when we got that email drop from the House Oversight Committee, and they were talking, Caroline Leavitt conservatives were saying that Democrats cherry-picked emails to make Trump look bad. One, I don't know, man. I don't think cherry-pick and Jeffrey Epstein emails can, like, go in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Because it's like, come on. It's Epstein. Like being implicated in emails, Jeffrey Epstein is kind of obscene on its face in general. I don't think you can cherry pick any of that information to make it worse. But what really got me about the cherry pick allegation is conservatives tried to initially stop the release of the Epstein files by saying that we want to protect victim information. And the moment that it may have been convenient for them to not protect victim information to try and maybe possibly clear Trump's name, even though there are contradictory statements in what they're even saying, they released the victim's name.
Yeah.
They do not give a shit about the victims. And that's not speculation. That is just point blank. They only care about the victims, in my opinion, insofar as they can shield themselves from accountability or stop something from being released that they don't want to be released.
Especially because, like, the victims, a lot of them have bravely come out and testified, have been at press conferences and stuff. They want transparency.
Yes.
Like, the people that have stepped forward publicly have said, yes, I was a part of this. Yes, it was a terrible time in my life. I want transparency.
Yes, but to cynically weaponize the name of a victim that's not even, like, around anymore to talk about it, that fucking killed herself this year, is just genuinely deranged.
I just, like, what, also, just, like, aside from the victims conversation on those emails, what context would have made it better for in the email when it was like, yeah, Trump ran into a glass window looking at girls in my pool? Like, is there a context that would have made that better?
No.
Or Trump is that dog that hasn't barked? Like,
there isn't context that makes it better at all.
I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem like cherry picking when on its own it's like, oh, that's enough to understand what's going on here.
It's like cherry picking is when you show emails the president was involved in. Other than the emails that they didn't cherry pick, the emails that they didn't choose to release with that initial drop implied that Trump may have blown somebody.
Yeah.
And that came out after. Like, if I'm cherry picking, I'm picking that one.
Yeah, the Republicans release all the emails, and there's even more that look bad for Trump in them.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah, the emails are a good one. The most damning part of the entire Epstein saga to me is Trump moving Ghislaine Maxwell to a low security prison.
Oh my God.
After she meets with his former personal attorney, now deputy attorney general. Like, even if you buy the idea that Trump was an FBI informant, that his name's not in the files, because if it was, then Biden's team would have released them to make Trump look bad in the 2024 election. You believe all the nonsense Trump has been spewing. It's a Democrat hoax, whatever. Why did he move Ghislaine Maxwell to a low security prison? There's no explanation.
He also just refuses to acknowledge that he won't pardon her.
Yeah, he won't say it.
He refuses to say that he won't pardon her.
Yeah, he will not commit to not pardoning her.
Insane. The pedophile queen?
And the only reason that he would do all of this, give Ghislaine Maxwell luxury treatment where she's literally playing with puppies, is because he wants her to leave his name out of any conversation she has about the Epstein files.
And then didn't she go and like give an email that, not an email, Jesus Christ, I'm all flustered thinking about emails and statements and blah, blah, blah. But didn't she go and like in that interview with Todd Blanchard, like part of it that got released, just contradict other facts of the story?
Yeah.
She's like, oh no, I'd never seen Trump. And then we get emails that are like, Trump was at my house.
Yeah, no, she said that she never saw Trump alone with any of the victims. And then in the emails we find out, oh, he was alone with one of the victims.
Jeffrey Epstein goes, Trump was alone for hours with one of the victims.
And then he says, of course, Ghislaine knew because he asked Ghislaine to stop.
Yes.
So like we know.
And then he runs into glass doors.
And it's like, it's not even, it's so hard to talk about this stuff nowadays because truth doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But if this scandal happened to literally any other president in any other era, it would be immediately the end of the presidency.
Immediate impeachment.
Because what we're talking about is a president essentially buying off somebody who has already been convicted of a crime so that they give him a good testimony and leave his name out of the description of the crimes that this person committed.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And it's also interesting that like after Nixon, like the DOJ is supposed to operate like separately from the presidency.
Yeah.
And now we just completely dropped that. Like nobody even begins to pretend that fucking matters at all.
He just tells Pam Bondi to do stuff.
And Pam Bondi is literally his personal attack dog. He'll fucking tweet, Pam Bondi, do this, and then it gets done. Mm-hmm. The way that everything just has degraded.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
God. What? And then things that we missed, just Trump's corruption. Just blatant corruption. You got Jared Kushner of Arabia. You got all these deals that are going on. You got Qatari jet. You got blah, blah, blah.
Cryptocurrency stuff.
What the fuck happened to the East Wing? I don't even know. The ballroom. Billions of people paying for things. Like there's so many places you can go.
Yeah, that might be a good one for your family if they care about aesthetics, is the ballroom. I don't give a shit about the ballroom, but I think a lot of people might.
I think so too. Like,
because it's an aesthetic thing and Americans love their aesthetics.
I was going to say, it's one of those weird issues that I think a lot of like regular people weirdly care about, but it's frankly not
it never looks good when you demolish a part of the White House.
No.
Like it's too symbolic.
It's giving Civil War.
Yeah. It's way too symbolic. And it's also like I'm a feminist, but it's hilarious that he blew up his wife's office. That's hilarious.
That's the part that sticks in my mind.
It's so funny.
Like if he just blows up his wife's office in the women wing.
Yeah. Like it's like if you wrote a character like this that did that, it's like, all right, well, that's a little unbelievable.
You said, hold on now.
Where's the subtlety?
Oh, the guy's supposed to be misogynistic, so he blows up his wife's office. He's that misogynistic. Really,
yeah.
Now it's a bit on the nose. No, and then conservatives try to defend him by saying Obama built a basketball court. Pipe down. Come on now.
Like, it's a basketball court.
Wait a minute now.
That's like, that's cool.
That's cool, exactly.
That's cool and sick.
Exactly.
And we got those pictures of Obama balling. That I can respect. But blowing up the East Wing for a ballroom?
Oh, baller, if you will.
So he can entertain a bunch of billionaires that helped fund it? That's stupid.
And I don't know, deck it out with Home Depot gold that he like claims is not Home Depot gold. And he's like, it's real gold. You'd never shimmer like this.
You cannot get this from Home Depot. Yeah, all right, buddy.
Yeah, sure, buddy. Come on now. Everything's, in conclusion,
everything sucks.
Everything sucks so bad.
Everything sucks.
Engage in political discussion with your relatives at your own risk.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think that brings us to the end here.
It does.
We have reached the end of another glorious holiday pregame. I hope you all feel prepared for the holidays this year. And I hope you fucking lock in.
I do. Other than when Trump got shot and Joe Biden dropping out happening like on days where we can actually get it on the regular episode, holiday pregame has been the one enduring thing that always happens at the right time because Thanksgiving's always on a Thursday.
That's right. Yeah. No,
so we always get that episode out on a Wednesday.
That is always useful. Also, of course, remember, no regular episode coming out later in this week.
But
and I will say,
still a banger.
Still a banger. And I will say, again, I'll remind everybody that if you don't feel comfortable going to bat politically, rhetorically on these issues, don't do it.
Yeah, no, I'd even go, please don't. I'd even go chill unless you're provoked or there's something that's so egregious that you just have to step in and like try and correct the record.
I will say that if you find yourself in a position of privilege and you feel mentally sound enough to go after it, that Thanksgiving's a good place to convince some of your family members like, hey, maybe vote for Trump was the wrong idea.
There's always people you can grab.
Yeah.
There's always people you can grab, especially in like a time like this where we're kind of like the furthest away from like elections. Like we are at that midpoint where we're entering the midterm year and we're a year out from the general election where people are kind of checked out and willing to say like, oh yeah, maybe I was wrong before they just retreat back into partisanship.
But maybe you can free someone from the mental matrix they find themselves in.
Exactly.
Politics is personal, people.
And once again, like diving into the mind of the median voter, it's not for the weak. Do so at your own risk.
Oh yeah, that's dangerous.
That's dangerous.
You might get lost.
You might find incoherent political opinions that we could not even have begun to predict. Trump getting the Qatari jet is actually cool because there's a power play. I don't know. Maybe you have a conservative relative that's really into conspiracy theories that just outplays you on not liking truth.
Yeah, they might drop some like cloud seeding shit. And I don't even know how to argue against that.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene actually resigned from Congress because the cabal of pedophiles like told her she had to, and they were gonna get her ass type shit. Yeah, exactly. And she's like, I can't do it. She's actually taking a stand. You just wait. In a year's time, she's gonna drop a list of everybody.
I can't like imagine you engage in a holy war. You are on a holy mission sent from God to free society, and you give up after 5 years.
Like right at the finish line too.
Yeah, when you're gaining popularity and positive PR,
Democrat coded.
People are behind you. I know. Got me thinking she's a Democrat.
Everybody's a Democrat.
Everybody's a liberal.
Everyone's a liberal, man. It's enduring. It's tried and true. Motherfuckers are becoming Joe Biden, and if they're not becoming Joe Biden, they're stopping at the step of becoming a liberal.
Everybody's a liberal, and Trump just likes hot dudes. These are two truths of the universe that you can never dispel. They're fundamental truths.
Inalienable. And with that,
it's like the law of gravity, man.
I think it's time we read out our beautiful, wonderful Spotify reviews from the people who support us there on that platform.
Lots of Caleb Hammer hate in these comments, which I appreciate.
And I'm glad to see it, because I'm glad I'm not alone in that take, because I was kind of nervous to launch that one. You never know how something like that's going to land when you're criticizing someone who doesn't like... No, you know what? I can't even say he doesn't even explicitly do politics anymore, because it is explicit politics when you interview a governor, and even before that, you look at any single person who has ever been on a safety net and start questioning, like, are you taking advantage of SNAP like a dumb fucking nerd loser? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fucking annoying. Either way.
It's always, are you taking advantage of SNAP, and are you taking advantage of this $10 billion, are you taking advantage of this $10 billion government contract?
Exactly.
We're never questioning that.
It's always, oh, you got unemployment during the pandemic, and not, oh, you got a PPP loan during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking crazy. We should have started the podcast earlier.
Fuck.
We could have got the PPP loan. We could have got it for
That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome, and I would have still railed about how crazy it was.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you right now, if another pandemic ever came around, we're taking a PPP loan to protect our paycheck.
Oh yeah, we're taking a PPP loan. It's going to be way bigger than anything we can ever pay back.
Exactly, and that shit is getting forgiven because hopefully it happens under a Democrat, fingers crossed, and then we're a toothless Democrat, mind you, and then fingers crossed, and then we're good and we come up bigly.
A Biden-coded Democrat.
True.
Oh, well, Biden could run again.
He's eligible.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, we're doing all these 2028 wish casts and doing all these 2028, like, who's the most likely nominee, and everybody seems to be forgetting that Joe Biden can run again.
Yeah, Biden can run.
Maybe he should.
He's not out.
Maybe he should. Maybe he's what the country needs right now. You know, after each Trump presidency, you just get a Joe Biden. Yeah. It could be good, guys. It could be a banger. We'll never know until we get there. Uh-huh. I might be inviting the Biden accomplishments guy on the show so we can talk about it.
My primary vote matters.
But I digress. This first Spotify review from Eben, 100 out of 5 stars. I, of course, oh shit, my computer almost went out. I, of course, condemn Hamas and all forms of political violence. As a listener from socialist Massachusetts, now living in communist England, I was driven into rage at the doctor's office when I didn't have to pay. These midwestern white boys have kept me up to date in both national and geopolitical issues, while I am still a Wednesday weenie, and they censored Wednesday weenie and Friday freeloader. I am committed to spreading the gospel on both sides of the Atlantic. All the best. All the best back to you.
I think it makes total sense to get angry when you get free healthcare. It shouldn't work that way. That's not freeing.
It also makes sense to censor Wednesday weenie and Friday freeloader because you should be ashamed.
Free healthcare is not free.
Just like this podcast isn't free if you want to stay up to date with the news.
That's right.
All gets paid for somewhere. It's either getting paid for by my labor or your tax dollars, guys.
This next one from Cameron Ruffy. To my dearest and fellow quirked up white boys. Huge. 13 out of 7 stars. Been listening for a couple of months and had my first conversation with my family about politics in a while, and I felt very well informed thanks to you. This pod has been so great for reaffirming my belief that that there are people that care about America being better. Keep it up.
Hell yeah. This next one from that like bent over rose emoji that people use when they're like, it hurts so bad I can feel it in my dick, rose, you know? I feel like that's the best illustration I could draw to get the most people on to what I'm talking about. But from this person, 5 out of 5 stars. Stop skipping the reviews. And if you're a real one like me, you know the best part of the pod is the sweet, sweet cadence of these two quirked up white boys and their Patreon list.
True.
I'm going to have to hop on that list soon before it gets too long for them to read anymore. Excellent work as always, boys. May the news cycle let you rest for once and both sides of your pillows stay cold. Fucking salute emoji. And it's a salute back to you.
Hell yeah. This next one from Alex, 5 out of 5. Caleb Hammer can eat actual hammer. Finance brain gone too far. Tired of these finance intellectuals talking down to people who work 40 plus hours a week and just want damn ice cream.
Real.
Thanks for the thought-provoking, humanizing content, gents.
Huge on that. Huge on that. Huge on that. This one from Not Cash Patel. Hey, yo, I'm watching you.
Better not be Cash Patel.
Yeah, hold on
Fed's
a
watching,
minute now.
guys.
5 out of 5 stars. The AO3 about Mamdani Trump enemies to lovers arc about to go crazy. Call that Zed in the office.
Oh,
hey, yo.
my God. Shout out. Next one from Nima, 67 out of 5 stars. Kind of wishing I got Mossad plan allegations from my boyfriend's friend now. I'm saying, dude,
it's a compliment.
Bitch so bad that she must be Mossad. There's no way he got her. She must be a Mossad
He
plant.
couldn't have possibly bagged that. She has to be a Mossad plant.
That's good.
We're just using it as a sentence, so you're going to have to introduce them to that one. This next one from Tally, 1,000 out of 5. My boyfriend's convinced to join the Hito Heads, and I can proudly say that I've added one more. Converted my guy to the gospel of Midwest white boys, delivering top quality tertiary news about U.S. politics. We're EU Hito Heads. Hey, yo. We obviously... what the fuck is that?
Condemn all forms of political violence.
Oh my God, how did I forget my own acronym?
It's an acronym, yeah.
How did I forget my own acronym? I need to take better ownership of that one. We obviously condemn all forms of political violence, but we do want to say that if Trump was president of France, the French would have covered DC in manure and set all the bins on fire by now. Maybe a vibe if the No Kings protests don't end fascism, question mark.
Wow.
They
really
French?
They really are EU Hito Heads because they said bins instead of trash cans.
Oh, that's fucked up. Me when I'm French. Me when I'm condemnable.
Yeah, me when I'm French.
Me when I'm condemnable on its face.
This podcast is francophobic and Anglophobic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For valid reasons. You guys might protest a little bit better than us, but you also suck.
But yeah, that's all you got.
Yeah.
Let it be known. What is France produced?
Wine.
Wine. Bread.
Some
yeah. So did Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus wasn't French, was he?
Yeah,
he was an American.
He came and he did the thing with the mountains and the gold tablets, and now I can have multiple wives.
Shout out Mitt Romney. Anyways, that brings us to the end of this glorious, beautiful episode, and we got to thank our patrons. We simply have to.
We do. These are the people that keep us going throughout this holiday season. These are people that I'm thankful for.
Yep.
When I'm sitting at that table and they're like, Gage, can you lead grace? I'm going to start by saying shout out to Caden Kraut, Chris the Postman, Christy Beck, Mike Jablinski, Clayton LaFed, Mark Yeager, Caleb Joy, Rich Taro, Tari, Fergalaki, Max Vasquez, Jacob Rogers, Colin Blueberry, Fixer Punk, Jim Egbers, Band Burrito, Cincy, Alex, Joe Stenstrom, Adrian Sandoval, Chloe Sam Cisco 1, Colleen Kutch, Jennifer DeVoe, Crawfish, and Benny III, Alexia Benatti, Big Booty Beatdown, Sam Maludi, Ted Cruz's Boy Toy, Dictator Jace, Luke O'Shea, Cucker Charleston, Danielle Jackson, The Word of Microsoft, Jennifer Science, Aaron and his Gundam Gundams, Darth Father, Tailored for Content, Corey Chambers, Retro Mondo, Veronica, aka V, Raxon, Ash Smith, The Growler, Murder in a Trench Coat, Casey Lynn Kelly, aka Ghana, Guana Don, Zach Lantian, Austin Greif, Marcus Corbett, Caleb Roper, Taylor Rensock, Cammy, Tylen Freeman, Isaac Hodges, Madeline C, Anna Valinic, KCC, Sayas to West, August, Particular Pickman, Sir Capelot, Jeff Signs, Brendan's Egg, Froggy Gumdrop, Jackie Boy, Shameless, Coherent Babbles, MJ Sharp, Michaela Muncie, The Wallace 3000, Chris T, Kashan Lala, Amanda R, Tyler J, Particulon, Memfres, Rhonda Stiletto, Midwest Marks, Joe the Mailman,
Gary from West Michigan, Shawnee GG, Juniper Not Jupiter, Stacked Crabs, I Crowley, Urban Peach, Lord of Forlorn, Holt Forsyth, Booty Snakes, Dew Fairy, Chilceratops, Austin Lima, Lane Waltz, Azim Fit Hussein, Gorgeous Girl Mukes, Brooklyn G, Noverk the Dastardly, Goldthorn, Eddie Book, Merlin, Cryobangi, Sergeant Pookie, Hoodie, Kim Kitchragi, Rose Grimm, Kristen, Jamie the Young Extremist, Jack the Heathen, Archer W, Evan Mingo, AJ Torres, Elo Nico, Jake Hall, Seth Schmidt, Noah Sajas, Majawat, Ultra the Dragon, Mercy Boku, Dick Cheney and 6 Inch Heels, Luke Wechter, Henry Kraggles, Tristan Ringsmith, Yaya, Asura the Atheist, Aiden Reese, Deep State Agent, Puddle Pirate, Southern Lefty, Lark 61, KC, Cannon Man, Troy H, Rourke Muffalo, Nahan San Diego, Nut Mode, Nick from New Haven, Connor Nick, Sound Logic, Sleven, I have never made a woman orgasm. John from Houston, Jordino, Haley Weibold, Pablo Vasquez, Nurse Jen, Soul DJ, Maple Big Dog, CIA Small Creators Fund, Taylor from Burnt Down Minneapolis, Northeast Nick, Aya, Retired AF and SC, YK Coolin, Woofer G, Gayest Worm, Niles Chamberlain, Sugar Free Baja Blast, Kristen, the Leftist Nurse, Fake Airplane, and my mom. Thank you all so much for supporting the show on Patreon.
Shout out Kristen, the Leftist Nurse. Shout out nurses for not being professional degrees anymore. Did you see that news?
No, I didn't.
I think the Department of Education, before it got announced that it was going to be disbanded, put out a list of degrees that they consider professional, and nursing is not one of them.
What the fuck?
And it qualifies for like student loans. Like you need like a professional degree for student loans or some shit. I was reading some. I'm not 100% on it. That's why we're talking about it after the extras. But a bunch of people were saying nursing's no longer considered a professional degree.
You think this is an incompetence moment, or is this like a intentional?
I think it's a misogyny moment. I think it's a misogyny moment.
There are male nurses.
Yeah, but mostly not.
But female coded degree.
Female coded degree. Exactly.
Crazy.
Exactly. Just mostly not male nurses. So
wow,
that's
more evil.
Interesting for sure.
Yeah, evil unfortunately winning once again. Shout out Linda McMahon. Shout out everyone with a Hiddo degree.
Yeah, Linda McMahon. It's also dope to be the education secretary without having any qualifications to be the education secretary. Actually, your only qualification being something you lied about years ago to like get there. And then Trump says, and then the guy you work for that oversees your department, you're secretary of, says no more.
Yeah, well, at the very least, she was on the receiving end of a tombstone pile driver by Kane on Monday Night Raw.
Type shit.
I think that qualifies someone for something. That's got to be worth something.
That's got to be worth something. It means something to me.
It means something to me. In these United States?
Yeah, look at this.
Come on.
Nursing is not a professional degree amidst student loan changes from USA Today.
Huh.
Dope. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, another development in America, I suppose.
Yeah, America moment.
America moment.
Once again, Trump.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Good luck at your holiday dinner tables. And
remember to start off when you sit down with your family and they're like, all right, it's time to say grace. You say, hold on, there's something more important to say. And then you do a land acknowledgement.
Real as hell. That'll get the libs fired up and the conservatives angry.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a great one.